Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Bob, Pat had a child. Wooly is gonna have a child. I'm not falling behind. Bob, you have to get pregnant.
What?
Chris Wolfart.
I ain't coming to the baby shower.
And Dr. Aggro.
Bob, this isn't a weird sex thing and you can't prove it is. Now take off your shirt.
You're on GigaBoots.
Damn it, I usually do so good at not cracking up at the end there. That was horrible. Speaking of horrible, I love that we didn't even actually go live and people are already like, I don't get the Mr. Worldwide bit. I think that's absolutely hilarious.
Chat, there are many reasons. You'll understand in news.
You will regret your words and deeds when we hit news, chat.
We won't explain now, though. That'd be too easy. You need to stick around.
That would be too easy. Aggro, you still seem different.
Yeah, it's I'm having a little trouble shaking it.
I wish you the best of luck.
Which is completely the opposite of how I usually am. Vis-a-vis shaking it.
No, I got it. Thank you. Don't worry. Bob and I played Mind's Eye last week. It's pretty easy to describe Mind's Eye. Imagine a GTA game with no open world stuff, no currency to give you the idea that you'll be able to do anything at any point that's exciting. And every mission is you driving for 5 minutes through traffic and doing a tools-generated mission that sucks. Most of the game is listening to people on, like, communications just talk to you and be like, this is what the story is. We can't progress the story in this part, but just know we're repeating what you already know. You can't steal any cars. You have to use the specific ones. If your car blows up, it fails the mission.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's ludicrous.
Like, even the most cynical Rockstar hater wouldn't be like, they're not going to do that in the next GTA.
It's preposterous that it has a game-breaking glitch where if you run over an NPC that's important, like to the story, like he's actually a character, it just completely distorts his model and the game freezes, and then you have to restart from a checkpoint. But then you can only have that happen once in the whole game. Yeah, that's the only time you have a car in an NPC in the environment.
So imagine, okay, imagine it's trying to jib them.
Yes.
But it won't jib them. They can't die. They're an important character. So their joints become like spaghetti monster shit.
Yes.
As they start colliding and bouncing in on themselves, flying away and expanding. And then it goes, no, that's bad.
That's horrifying. Like that's how you wrote computers working in the 90s, where like you tell the code this NPC can't die. You just don't explain how to stop that from happening, so it has to figure it out.
It figured it out all right.
Yeah. God, that was like 12 hours or something.
Yeah, I think it just barely peaked 13. The ending was the most hilariously, we know it's not going to have a good ending and it's going to be abrupt as hell like Rage. And then it did that and we thought it was hilarious. And then weirdly, when you beat the game, it starts you up in a weird base, like a shed that's been fitted for operations. And you're some old guy who's kind of schlubby wearing a crop top, and on it is written, you can't drink dust or something. And you have the most outrageous colors, and it doesn't tell you to do anything.
Yeah, it just booted us into what I think is their version of GTA Online.
The free roam. I don't even think it was online.
Maybe
I think
not.
it was just the free roam mode.
But you just play as a random generic NPC that's...
But it's not random. Because everyone is that guy when they beat the game.
That exact one?
That exact one. Because everyone who watched our stream assumed that was just randomly generated from the created character. No, they're all that.
That's insane.
That is their designed end game flow.
Because even in that free roam mode, you also can't steal cars. Like it's
Yeah.
Not even free roam, really.
To flesh out the game's story, you see these random portals that are not story relevant, that are missions that the dev team made for you to experience the different sides of the story. So in the first episode of the Mega 64 TV series, they put on the Mega 64, and for a bit, they are Banjo-Kazooie, right? They are Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie. And they're like, didn't that insatiable hunger for honey teach you something? He's like, yeah, I really learned a lot. That gave me some perspective on that character I never had before. That's the level of depth we're talking about here, because it's just like, you don't know what it's like to be a back niner. And then you're just playing a character who's a part of the back niners, and you do a random mission where you shoot guys and run away and get in a truck.
Yeah.
It has no relevance to the story now. What would
So you know what?
call it a story sequence even. It's just a shitty tools generated mission. And that's it. You come out of that and you literally like, wow, that's crazy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You want to hear one of the funnier things about Mind's Eye? Desperate for any good news about this game, placers are going, despite its terrible reviews, it's the 4th highest selling physical game release in the UK. It's launch week.
Somehow I knew.
Oh no.
Somehow I knew it'd come back to the UK.
I don't understand why, but the UK's physical sales are always completely alien to every other market. Like normally, if a game sells really well somewhere, you can extrapolate that into other places. Not with the UK.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's really good. Oh, man.
When it's your launch week and you're launching along no other big games, though, Force Place isn't good. Just so we're clear.
Just so we're clear. And your game is clearly fucking expensive. Because the cutscenes that do exist in this game are very premium.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the mocap's exceptional. They have really high fidelity models. The problem is that the story absolutely sucks and just involves you driving places that are 6 miles apart constantly, the whole game. It's such a dog shit video game.
I mean, the story is even terrible because it's about what if Elon Musk was the good guy. Like, that's basically the text of the game.
No, they have a figure in this that it's like, oh, he's the Elon Musk archetype. Are we gonna like, he's gonna be evil, and that's the, and no, within an hour you figure out, no, he's virtuous and based, actually. He's noble.
Now the government, that's...
That mayor, though. Oh, that mayor. There's a plot line where she scammed the Elon into having to put sound machines in the cars in order to make sure people knew when the electric cars were driving, because her husband tragically died, but she owns the company that makes the sound machines they had to legally put in the cars because she's a bad guy.
They even
Elon, however, is based.
Like, one of the final reveals is okay, Elon sold the government these desk machines, but when the government took those schematics he gave them when he made the desk machines and made their own desk machines, now that's stepping over a line. This is now a horrible thing.
Yes, that was what it got.
So the mayor of this city has the authority to demand automobile manufacturing have a new component.
Yes.
This is only somewhat related. Do you think that it's ultimately a good thing that Deus Ex game got canceled because it would have an epic Elon Musk character?
Yeah, probably.
Because the Adam Jensen ones kind of like they have characters like that. And if it had started development in like 2019, 2020, you could easily see them fucking up that way.
I could see that happening, yes. I could. I'm trying to remember the Rockstar lawsuit against the people making this game, because they literally made them change the name of the studio. That's how bad it was. They're like, your name's RCI? Your name is full fucking name? Well, that abbreviates to RCI, which is too close to Rockstar Games, RSG. It's like, no, I don't think a 3-letter name for a studio has an initialism that starts with I and has nothing else in common, actually, qualifies as too similar. So, anyways, there's a really good chance that during the development of this game, Rockstar's lawyers were up the ass of the publisher at bare minimum.
Uh-huh.
And they're just like, we're so fucking tired. Take out carjacking. We're so fucking tired.
Well, I'm sure every single person who worked for this studio will be laid off within the next 2 months.
If they haven't been already.
Right?
They pushed out a hot fix today, so somebody's still there.
That's true. They, in fact, announced something like, 3 weeks of updates? They have a roadmap of the next 3 weeks of updates.
Maybe you should have delayed it a month.
Yeah, maybe.
No. Nope, sorry.
I hope this somehow doesn't annihilate IO Interactive.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks real bad for IO Interactive right now.
There's no way they had the money to pay this game's budget, which by the way is $500 million.
Wow.
Because they made a fucking like a mission creator and all this other shit, and it was gonna be part of Everywhere, the ultra super mega game.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because it was, for people who didn't catch it, it was going to be a part of Everywhere, which was literally a metaverse game, and then they sort of canceled that part of it.
Anyway,
like, oh,
if you're not great at math, that means it has to sell 11 million copies to get in the black.
Well, the UK sales, they were like 11 million at fourth place, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easily. Uh-huh. Fourth place. Yes.
Fourth place, 11 million bucks. That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, 11 million copies.
Yeah,
So
that's
let's
happening.
see. That's like a 5% attach rate among everyone who can ever play this game.
It's worth noting that a lot of the people before we streamed this only knew of this game because a person, I believe the CEO from Rockstar, or from
Build a Rocket Boy?
Build a Rocket Boy, was saying that Rockstar was paying influencers to cover this with a negative tone. That happened late last month.
Yeah, that really had to fucking happen. Somebody had there had to be tricks for someone to not love Mind's Eye.
Jesus Christ, that is exquisite cope.
This is how you know every company is now washed, because if I was the CEO of a big company, I'd have him killed.
Rockstar probably
It's like,
wishes they could,
like,
because he's suing for the $150 million in royalties. Like, he sued Rockstar for that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get it. But like, how do you not have people who can just go crack down, but like, shut the fuck up?
Do you think he watched our stream and he was like, these are paid actors?
They're not getting it.
They clearly, there's no way someone could rationally come to the conclusion that this story sucks.
It's the most blatantly incomplete game in so many ways, too. It's like, like, everyone under that dude has to know.
Bastion of positivity, perhaps unjustifiably so at times. John Linneman over at Digital Foundry called this game, in his extreme generosity, likable to a leaked alpha for a game. Yeah, and that is correct. Mm-hmm. That is the level this game comes in at. I also agree with the statement that I'd rather play this than Ark Survival Evolved, but that's a taste thing. Jesus Christ, though. I've just never seen a game that was so thoroughly, we need to pad out the time, have them drive 6 miles at the beginning and end of every mission in the game.
Yeah, and then in the missions, all you ever do is like some insanely basic cover shooting, and then once in a while, find the thing to click triangle on.
Uh-huh.
It's like...
And it's like, these aren't
nothing here.
These seem less like levels they've decided, more like buildings they built to be realistic.
Uh-huh.
So it's like very, very specifically go in this warehouse. Okay, now get to the second floor and go to the rooftop. And I guess from there you could drop down to this area and climb to the other rooftop. And then from there you could go back down to street level. The level ends when you get in the truck.
It made no sense how much of the city is built out and you never even drive by it.
Yeah, there's nothing to do there.
Yeah, they make this gigantic city. They have every mission you driving somewhere. And most of it, a lot of it's just driving around the desert. This one street in the desert over and over again. It's like, what did you do?
Uh-huh.
Like, this cannot be what you wanted.
It's so crazy. What a wild video game to actually ship in 2025.
Can we talk about the twist at the very end?
Let me talk about other things for a little bit longer. So this is a UE5 poster child.
Oh yeah,
where it's
in every
not
way.
optimized at all. It was really funny listening to Digital Foundry talk about on PC there are performance spikes of over a third of a second sometimes. Like when you hit another car with your car, it just stops.
Hang on. Let me do the math.
Fucking rolling dice, writing down notes.
Yeah, Unreal Engine is not made for open world games, no matter how much Unreal or Epic wants you to believe that.
It's real good. It's real good on PC. Apparently, it defaults. Oh yeah, when you boot the game, you don't get to change a single setting or anything with it. You have to watch the entire intro cutscene, and I think even beat the first mission. And it is a long ass cutscene at the beginning. They default to frame gen on. So imagine you have to watch that entire first cutscene with frame gen on and terrible frame pacing. Incredible shit. Absolutely incredible shit. The game is also really dark. Yeah, no, it's enormously dark because it's one of those UE5 games where they're like, well, this would be realistic. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help.
No.
I'm not here for the realism simulator. I'm here to play a video game and I can't fucking see.
I cannot believe that they let that frame gen shit on consoles. I am consistently appalled that Sony even allows it.
Oh,
Sony
it wasn't.
should say,
It's
no.
not on console.
Oh, thank God. So
Not
it's
this
only
time.
Immortals of Avium that has it on console.
Yeah, for some reason, Immortals of Avium went out of their way to add that, and it's like, bro, this isn't going to solve the problem of your frames are not smooth. I don't.
Yeah, that's
know
what
why you
keeps
thought that
happening
would
because they
help.
also did that for that Destiny knockoff done by NCSoft. What's that one called?
The Ancients,
The predecessor? No.
the Archetypes. I'm just gonna bullshit now.
the first
Descendant.
Yeah.
There we go.
That also runs terribly, and they put frame gen in it. It's like, that ain't helping, dude.
And then Wukong did it too, and it was
Yeah.
also like, this just looks wrong and bad. I don't know.
because the frame gen got it up to 40. It's like,
Right? Yeah.
what are you doing?
Because every time, what people don't think about is it's actually making the game run worse.
Yeah.
Because you lose frames engaging frame gen, so you managed to make it even rougher. Good job. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So interior environments in this game are enormously dark because that's realistic. I'm like, that doesn't help me. You didn't let me use a flashlight this mission. Because there were a couple that did, where it's like hit right on the D-pad and you could pull out a flashlight.
We
But
didn't even get that until like hours in.
hours and hours in. It was like 5 hours
Yeah,
before they
'cause
let us do that. Then
because
it
for some
stopped
reason-
letting us do that.
The main thing, like the cool thing your guy can do in this game.
Oh God. Okay. Aggro. On the spot armchair devs moment. This is a GTA game that is mildly futuristic. Elon Musk will be a key character. What is the cool ability that your guy has that will make our cool guy stand out in this genre?
Oh, does it have anything? Let's see. A futuristic GTA, and I have a cool power.
Yeah, you have a cool ability. Yeah.
Is it? I'm gonna go with hijacking cars with my mind.
Okay, you can't do that in any way in this game.
Yeah, there's
Bob,
no-
tell him the cool thing that makes our guy super remarkable. The ancient alien technology gave him the ability.
You've never seen this in a single game before. Definitely no other games that are also open worlds that are like GTA.
And that are
not
like
made by
10 years
Ubisoft.
old.
He has a drone.
That's it.
It's it.
I'm gonna jump off a fucking bridge.
The ancient alien technology
He has
tapped into
ancient
his
alien
brain
tech to get. Okay,
to
wait.
make him good at drone.
What does the drone do?
It has a stun gun
It's
on
not
it.
even like that good of a drone. Like
Yeah,
compared to games with drones, it's a
It's a
dog
stun
shit
gun.
drone.
It's got a flashlight. You can fly it around and look at first person.
And the flashlight only works in some missions.
yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
like. There's okay. Making video games is hard.
Oh, yes.
And it's complicated, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a lot of factors that have to go into making a good one. There has to come a point in your project when you take a step back, look at the whole thing, and ask yourself, if someone put my game right next to Killzone Shadowfall, would my game look cooked?
Yeah.
And then you have to take appropriate action.
God, the Killzone Shadowfall drone's so much better. Jesus. That thing could shoot grapple hook points.
Yeah, I spent the whole time just being like, you shouldn't be losing the drone war with Killzone Shadowfall.
Because I was thinking about The Division, which it's way worse than.
Or Watch Dogs.
And Watch Dogs
which
was
is way worse than. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like we really moved past it a little bit too quickly. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we need to really put some emphasis on the
ancient goddamn aliens.
Because they're ancient goddamn aliens.
I didn't stay up late enough to see that. What the fuck do you mean there's ancient aliens in this game?
Okay, believe me when I say the first cutscene of the game is like, you were clearly a part of the military or a military-like thing, and then you went to a pyramid that's underground, and you touched a thing and it arced your brain via a drone. And then everyone else died on the mission because the drone shot them. Oh my God. And then they did nothing with that for 10 hours?
Oh, yeah.
And then the game's like, oh shit, we gotta end. Okay, Elon Musk. Okay, Wozniak stereotype. You're gonna do your cool Woz sigil thing to sigil up. There are parts of this game. There are whole things that just look like they would be routes you would take in a GTA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we complete this guy's missions, and this is the conclusion of that. And then we complete this guy's missions, and this is the conclusion of that. So you get these really disparate, weird, like, oh, and then the Woz is going to launch his 3 trackers, and that's going to cause lightning to shoot across the sky. And this is a cool moment because we'll be able to find the ancient goddamn aliens or something. But that wasn't the funniest thing. The funniest thing in this game, and I cannot stress you, okay? I cannot stress enough for you how much this is not justified. There's a moment where you go to launch a space shuttle, and they try to make it an emotional cutscene.
Yeah.
I'm like, this game wasn't about this. Why do you think I give a shit?
Yeah, and of course, it's Elon Musk's rocket, of course.
It's Elon Musk's rocket.
Oh.
Of course. And it's like, And then later we get a different mission that is defending a shuttle from enemies as it goes to the launch pad that earlier in the game we launched a shuttle from emotionally. I'm like,
Yeah. Obviously, huge problems in development to be in this game. God, every video game. It feels like every NPC you meet is supposed to have their GTA quest, and they just don't. They're instead weirdly woven into the main story.
We have our love interest who's like a hacker girl, and she's locked up in like a condo, and you get the idea that you would go to her ever.
Yeah, and said, no, never. You never returned. She calls you on the phone once in a while. And
that's
then the
it,
government thinks that you're an item, and it's like, I don't think that happened in the game.
Yeah, the government's like,
Oh, they're clearly into each other and they're in a relationship.
and I'm like, I appreciate you alleging that I could land that. However, anyways, let me just play the spoiler music. Spoilers for Mind's Eye. I know you were all about to buy it and play it.
I mean, I bought it. It's still here.
Mail it to me.
Sure, I got to get the platinum trophy first because we were so close. We only have 2 trophies we need to get before I get the platinum in Mind's Eye. The story goes, wait, we need to be emotional. Kill the woman.
Like, the story does, or they make you do it?
No, they don't make us do it. She just dies in a really goofy cutscene where she tackles a Cyberman off a building. And the best part is right after that, you get in an airborne vehicle. You just go stare at a ragdolled body.
I really need to play this game.
How much did you like it that Elon Musk was based in virtuous and noble and shit, but his secretary, who was like, fuck this guy, and betrayed him, she was a bad guy.
She was the evil one,
Because they had to write in something about like, oh, and she sold your data. And I'm like, but he's Elon. He already sold my data. What the fuck do you think is happening over there?
Yeah, I don't know. They don't know either. It's so dumb.
At the very least, it sounds like from description that this was a game made by people who are weird losers for liking Elon Musk, and not liking Elon Musk is the signifier for other much, much worse things about these people.
I'm not sure. Because of how things go with the mayor and other elements of government bodies. I'm not sure. It's too close to call for me.
Yeah, I guess you need to play the whole thing in aggro.
Yeah, maybe we'll see where aggro comes in on this. And then after that, it'll be like a traveling pair of pants, right? Because that's what that movie's about. And every time I make this joke, people definitely don't write in the comment section, Dan, the Traveling Sisterhood of Pants movie is not about them sending pants everywhere. And then aggro has to send it to Chris. And Chris has to play Mind's Eye.
No.
Can I send you some pants?
No, I'd rather you not.
Aggro just sends Chris like a pair of girl jeans, and Chris is like, all right. I enjoy pockets, so I guess I won't wear these. You hear about those ones where it's like completely fake pockets on the back? Like just literally fake. They give them a thing to look like a pocket is there.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
That's evil. That's evil. I was making out with a chick decades ago, and that's how I found out. I was like, what the fuck?
Were you attempting to rob her in the middle of making out with her?
It was her back pocket. I'll let you figure out, rocket scientist, what I was trying to do. When I discovered that's not a real pocket. That is a lie. I hate that aggro called me out for robbing a girl I was making out with live on Big Thing.
Get through the spoiler sections out now.
Yeah, good. No one will know because they don't want Mind's Eye spoiled. Yes. Okay, I'll come out of this that way.
Yeah, I guess we won't talk about the final thing. I mean,
one moment. We're going back in. We're going back in for more. Where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button? I need to add this to my favorites. Why is it? By the way, viewer, I didn't announce it, I don't think, but
Ancient goddamn aliens.
is this sound for you all now if you're in the fan Discord? That's a thing you can do that in voice calls with other people. You're welcome. Hey, Bob.
hey. At the very end of the game, the aliens have been contacted. And now they're like possessing the robots from the other side of the dimension.
You need to understand, okay? This whole game is about like, oh, there's these ancient goddamn aliens. Oh, they're who knows? Like they seem benevolent. They just seem disappeared. Mm-hmm. We really don't know what their deal is. And then Steve Jobs / Elon Musk and the Woz get into talk over your comms. And then they're like, the Woz is just like, who knows if it's a virus that they engineered? Maybe just them communicating with our modern machines has this effect on it. They might not intentionally be hijacking all these things.
Right.
And so this is the tone of the ending. It's still like, oh, they could be good. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. They're some interdimensional beings. They don't experience time the way we do.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We need to know what they want.
So we showed up at the ending. The ending has a giant orb nexus portal in front of us, and it makes spooky faces, and out of nowhere, with no build-up or explanation at all, they're like, oh my god, they're gonna harvest our bodies. And your guy takes a headlong tackle into the portal and explodes. The end credits.
Yeah, it's to me the least justified thing in the whole game.
Yes, they've come for the harvest, and we are the crop.
Yes.
This was completely not built to, in the least. It's just something they said during that cutscene so our main character could explode. Anyways, yeah, it's a video game. Bob, would you give it an 8?
No, I would not give it an 8.
Oh. I'm gonna take us out of spoilers. Unless any of our co-hosts had any questions.
No.
No.
The game really likes exploding things. Yeah, no, it kept, in order to cause drama, in countless missions throughout the game, it would just explode a thing because the writers don't know how to write. So Bob and I are like, Hacker Girl's going to explode any second now, and we won't even know why. Which, you know, is kind of not as funny as her tackling Cyberman off the ceiling and us finding her Family Guy death posed on a awning beneath us. I appreciate the dedication that they're like, well, the body would still be there. It's only been a minute since that cutscene.
Right, of course. But the cyborg guy, he got away real quick. Really quick.
Yeah, Linkara ran
Yeah.
away. We didn't get to see it. Oh, man. If only people were making games brave enough to use Unreal Engine 5 to do the Linkara run as a cutscene. It needs to look like that Flash concept for a game.
Oh my god.
Okay, just to clarify, the cyber being she tackled off a roof, did
Yeah.
it actually survive in the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It makes no sense. They
Yeah,
keep
that
acting
is-
like this guy's basically immortal because of his cybernetic enhancement. And it's like,
Right.
they didn't alter his head even.
That is the biggest L I could imagine. Nobly tackling something off of a precipice that will not be killed by the fall.
Yes, that sucked.
I'm on her side of it really should have worked.
It should have worked.
He's not that augmented. He's
No.
pretty augmented, but he's not anywhere near that tier.
No, because this
He was a tall ass building.
yeah, this was like a skyscraper. We were on the top of a hotel you'd see in Destin. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no,
no,
this
that guy
was,
would be a puddle.
that
like,
dude's brain would be two-dimensional when he
Yes.
hit the ground. But somehow, no. He survived. What a funny game.
yeah, like his head should have been completely ripped off his body if his body was sturdy enough.
He's like, my skull is metal. And I'm like, your brain isn't. Like, I'm not sure if you're aware how this will work out for you, but okay. Hell of a video game.
Yeah.
I'm glad everyone joined us for it. It was like fucking Christmas. They don't make shit like this anymore.
No.
And, you know, like I said, when they showed the first trailers, I think if they shipped enough games like this, it would cure the gaming industry. I meant one way before we knew what it was, and a different way now that we know what it is.
Right, now it's some sort of burning purge.
Uh-huh.
Yup.
It's like,
It certainly seems like what it is.
There was a moment where two things were on fire in a room that was on fire, and the guy was like, this is like Burning Man. And I'm like, no, my man, that is just fire. That is just fire. What a goddamn funny game. Holy shit. Anyway, we gotta move on. I don't know that there's anything else worth talking about.
I'm not getting. No, I think we covered everything we really needed to.
It's so depressing. It's so depressing that like the driving feels good. It's fine. But like you can't do adventuresome things with it because your car explodes. You get thrown like a game
you failed
over
the mission. Yeah, immediately. And like they know that that's a problem because they actually put a button in the game. You hit mash square at any point to right your car, like to unflip it.
Yeah, and you can do that shit in midair even, like constantly. Which by the time we were at the real plot stuff and people started coming in who didn't get to see the rest of the stream, we weren't telling them but we were doing that. So a lot of people are like, why the fuck are the cars gyroscopic in this?
Right?
Why is the car flipping upside down and then in midair going, woo? So that was delightful. I would love for them to just believe that's how it works normally.
Right.
And that I'm not mashing the square button. Hell of a fucking game. Hell of a fucking game. They simply do not do this very often because they cannot afford to. God. Thank you, Metaverse. Thank you for making their scope so insane. Just, oh yeah, we'll just make an everything game, which means we need to make an incredibly ornate city with nothing to do in it because the players will make the things to do in it.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
I've been playing some Pipistrello.
Oh yeah,
Pipistrello's good.
yeah, me too.
I'm surprised I haven't seen more streamers streaming Pipistrello.
Yeah, Pipistrello's real neat. It does not seem appreciated.
Yeah. We're such hypocrites for saying this and not doing it. Chris streamed it.
Yeah.
We're just hypocrites over here. I'm like, why aren't more people streaming this game I'm playing and I'm a streamer? But no, it's really fantastic. I think one of the more interesting things about Pipistrello is that it is a 2D Zelda like A Link to the Past, but one, the combat's ramped insanely high in a way you would never see in any Zelda for that matter.
It's true.
And two, the rooms are so involved to solve as puzzles that it feels more like a 3D Zelda, because 3D Zeldas had the rooms with like, here are all these disparate parts and you need to engage with all of them to solve your way out of this room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Link to the Past is not that involved.
I will say something that might upset people.
Okay.
I think it's actually pretty close to Zelda Skyward Sword. Because it has...
Maybe you activated some people in a good way.
Because it has basically each zone is 2 dungeons, because there's the overworld dungeon and then the dungeon.
Yeah.
And that's
it's true.
They did in Skyward.
Somebody
That
asked
is also
me,
a thing they do in Minish Cap. Shocker that both those games have the same director.
Oh my gosh.
Shocker.
I forgot that he left Capcom to go to Nintendo.
Yeah,
Really?
he's been the
So
director
long
since
to
Skyward
develop
Sword.
Interesting then that this game is inspired by Game Boy Advance games to the point of having like Pokemon 3rd gen trumpets and shit.
Yes.
And that it would be inspired by Minish Cap. Very strange.
I feel really bad that Minish Cap's like basically the only mainline Zelda I haven't played.
Yeah, same.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't think of any. Well, there's the CDI games.
Those are not mainline.
If I remember,
do not pretend.
if I remember correctly, didn't a CDI core get added to the Mister really recently?
Ooh,
That's exciting. I wonder if it works at all. That's really exciting shit. But yeah, I think it's quite delightful. Somebody asked me though, like, how many Link to the Pasts long is this game? And I'm like, well, see, that's hard to describe, because if I were to say how many temples there were, that would drastically undersell it.
right.
Because every temple is as involved, if not more involved, than the later temples in Ocarina of Time. It's pretty cool. I like there's so many times trying to solve these fucking puzzles that I'm just like, I don't have the shit to do this.
Yeah, there's
just
always that
yelling
thought
at
in the
the
back
room.
of my head, and then I come back because like I did have the thing to do this.
It's so super specific what it wants. Sometimes I solve a thing and I go, that is not what it wanted.
Yeah, you get badges to let you screw with things a little bit. Like I got one where the yo-yo bounces back to you off a wall. And I was like, oh well, that just breaks various things.
Cool. You get that UFO ability on the yo-yo where if you hold R1 and press circle, it will shoot out the yo-yo and then it will become a floating thing you can string to and leap across. And as it turns out, if you're sitting half on and half off the ledge and you just tap towards the ledge, not enough to fall off, but you just tap, it will move it 1 square further than it should. And I have solved things like that.
I see.
I'm like, heh.
I was gonna say that's the only movement ability in the game. I'm like, maybe I would like the game more if we didn't have this.
It's not smoothed and inlined in the way that every other movement ability is. So
Right.
I 100% get it. Also, you could do some weird shit with it.
You can.
With specific banking and things in a way that
Yeah.
makes me go, Jesus Christ, is this what it wants? Also, that game's soundtrack is really good. And that game's animations and character designs are
Everything
really good.
about it is really good.
It's a really good game. More people should stream it. Why aren't
But not us.
But not us.
Just
no.
so we're clear.
No. I'm sorry. There's no way. Would people really watch us play a video game even? I don't know.
They don't like that.
They want experiences like mine's. But yeah, I've been having a good time with that. My only regret is that I did not. Oh yeah, I should say I got a code from the publisher. Bob bought it. Chris bought it. I wish I had gotten a code or bought it for the Nintendo Switch, because I would love to have a game I'm playing on the Switch too right now.
Yeah, and I actually like using the analog stick in this game more than the D-pad, so it would fit really well.
Yeah, it actually has multiple velocity like coded into it using an analog stick instead of just walking or not walking.
Yeah.
And it also has diagonals, but I think it forces it properly to 8 directions, so that way it feels smoother. Yeah, no, the analog stick feels good in this, which is good. You need to not just be the same as the D-pad if you're going to use it. But yeah, no, it's.
I was really disappointed they took down the Mina Howler demo.
They did,
because I wanted to go play it immediately after finishing Pipistrello and be like, okay, I need to compare these directly, and I couldn't because they're like, nah, we were just up for that weekend.
Yep, did the same thing. People are saying it has slowdown on the Switch 1, sadly. That probably would be solved by Switch 2.
Switch 2 is pretty good about brute forcing that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate, though, about the Switch 1 version.
Yeah, it's like, what, 6 times more powerful than the original Switch? Something insane like that?
Something insane like that, yeah. If not more.
Because I think it was like the Switch is 23% the power of the PS4. And then this is slightly better than a PS4 Pro in some way.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's truly nuts, the chasm of power level we have here. Yeah, I've been having a good time. It was a good time. It's a lot of combat.
Yeah, maybe he has too much combat.
It was a good time. Yeah, here's a $500 patch to fix your game. It's called the Switch 2. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about Pipistrello before moving on. I will have more to talk about Pipistrello at a later date. Bob, what else have you been playing?
I played Pipistrello, and I also played a little bit of Ninja Gaiden on NES.
Oh, wait. I know what I wanted to say.
Oh, yeah?
I think it was funny when it was brought up earlier, I believe during one of the Summer Game Fest streams, that Pipistrello and Mina the Hollower are just the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color Zelda likes featuring Scrimblows of the year.
Yeah.
Somehow shipping the same year.
Yeah, somehow shipping the same year. And I'm really worried Mina is just going to be worse in every way.
Man, it is. And let me be clear, we're not being cynical about Mina. Like, saying Mina might be worse than Pipistrello is us praising the other thing. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, mostly.
No, I agree. I agree.
Like Mina the Hollower would have to be it would have to be up there with Link's Awakening.
Mm-hmm. And I need to play that demo again, but I can't. But it feels like instead of actually cool new ideas, it's like, what if we had sold stuff? And I was like, that would have been cool maybe 10 years ago.
I really love Shovel Knight. I'm so excited for meeting the Hollower.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is entirely possible that it's not the best Zelda-like with a Game Boy letter goes here aesthetic of 2025, which is crazy. So you guys hate Mina with all your heart? Got it. I will take this to the YouTube comments. Thank you, Crab with the Gun.
You got it. You figured it out.
You
solved the riddle. We speak in riddles here all times.
We do. As it turns out, we speak 95% of dog whistles. We're just trying to activate parts of our fandom to go do different things. I hope you enjoyed the intro quote for this episode. So, Bob, you've been trying to play some Ninja Gaiden.
Yes, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, thank you. I really fucked up the wizard delivery. There we go. How is Ninja Gaiden?
I didn't realize there's so many weird things about the controls in that game. Like, there's a bizarre thing where you have to turn around before you jump, because if you jump backward, like if you just hit it a little too early, then you jump real slow and it doesn't work. Also, the hitbox on his sword's real weird. Like,
it is really weird.
It's not too small. It's just super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes it'll hit things super far from you. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll hit things right under you. Sometimes it won't. Like, it seems so random.
Have you considered playing Castlevania 1 and then going to Ninja Gaiden and having some sort of comparison point of, like, it's literally their version of this?
It is. One thing I really appreciate is their version of Candles changes at every level.
Really?
Yeah, so in some levels it's like it's an insect because you're in the Amazon, so it's like a little mosquito flying there and you hit it.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
But yeah, it is just a weird alter version of Castlevania. In some ways, I like the way it plays more than Castlevania 1. because Castlevania 1 is rough.
No.
Not that Ninja Gaiden 1 isn't. Ninja Gaiden 1 is also rough.
Bob, Castlevania 1 isn't rough. Castlevania the Adventure is rough. And the existence of one rough thing means no other rough things exist.
I'd also heard many things about the birds.
Yeah.
The birds suck, but...
They do. They suck butt?
But...
They should stop that.
I actually had way more problems with cheetahs. Especially one cheetah.
Did you make it to the last level of the game?
I made it to stage 6. I believe that's the last level.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was such a huge difficulty jump. And it was, at that point, it was also like, man, it's getting to be way too early. I need to just go to bed. And it was actually making my thumb hurt real bad.
That's how you know that you're gaming.
Yeah.
I think the bird notoriety comes from the end level, that last level, and them just being right next to pits.
Okay, because they're right next to pits all the time.
Because if you scroll backwards, they respawn.
Yeah, that's a problem throughout the entire game.
Yep.
And the bats are honestly sometimes even more annoying because it's hard to even see them. They're just like they look like a sheet of paper in pixels.
Okay, yeah.
They're super tiny. They fly in front of a ledge every time as you scroll the screen to jump over it. So you have to just learn where they are and then be like, okay, I'll wait for him to spawn and then jump. Because if I kill him, he'll have another one respawns immediately. Which the respawns in this are insanely fast and frequent. Like if they go off the screen for even like a single pixel, it's spawned him again.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst NES games I've experienced as far as that goes.
Yeah. That's also a thing in Castlevania, but you move at so much lower a speed. And the level structure doesn't really set you up to keep walking in a way that will keep respawning, except for one guy. Fuck that guy.
So I'm hoping 2 and 3 are a little better. And not the same.
I hear Ninja Gaiden 2 is the worst of the trilogy.
Oh my god.
And that the debate is between which one's better, 1 or 3.
Wow.
Or maybe
I don't know.
that's-
I've always heard that 3 is the bad one because it has limited continues, so you get fucking knocked all the way back to the beginning of the game. Although that might only be an American invention.
Maybe. But Bob's an American gamer, and he can only American avenge his American youth.
It's also cool to see the stuff that does make it into the later like 3D games.
Yeah.
Like the demon statue and a bunch of other random little things.
That's just cool.
It's hilarious to be like, oh, this is one of the first games that has like storytelling.
Yeah.
Cutscenes.
Yeah. Everyone was really impressed.
And everything is like Power Ranger tier, like but darker energy to it. So like Kamen Rider Black sort of thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
It's like this is really goofy, but it is cinematic. Which is impressive.
He's using his evil demon energy to turn all of the girlfriends into blood energy for the demons.
It's also hilarious to have how many times in cutscenes he'll get a gun drawn on him, and then he's kind of like he gives up. Like,
yeah, it's a gun.
Yeah, it's like, but in the level, you just cut the bullets in half, and all the guys explode.
Look, he's like Zatoichi once he's in the cutscene.
Yes.
It's like, oh no, my one true weakness, being shot by a gun because I can't anticipate that.
So yeah, that game's really neat. I intend to beat it at some point. We'll see.
Kogashi asks, so is the next Wii Boomers the Ninja Gaiden OVA? That's a thing?
I feel like I knew about that at some point, but I totally forgot.
I did not know.
Yeah, I also did not know that existed.
Yeah, Dante gets the cutscene buff.
Mm-hmm.
Ryu gets the cutscene debuff.
Sucks, man.
It sucks.
It's cool to find out, Ninja Gaiden Raidbound will almost certainly be the best 2D Ninja Gaiden.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I never heard of this OVA either. I just looked it up, and Homeboy looks like Richter.
Excuse me?
Kind of.
One moment.
Like, I feel like that's kind of accurate. Let's see how close.
Oh my god. That's not kinda. That could just be Richter.
Wow. Yeah.
Holy shit. What were they thinking? One moment. Yes, this is the new max res default image. Thank you. Anyways. Look at this shit.
Yeah, that's just Richter
fucking
Hayabusa.
Richter.
Yeah, he's just got a headband and some ninja gauntlets on. That's basically all we changed.
So the question is, when did the OVA come out?
Compared to
did Rondo of Blood come out after?
right? We might have.
That's
God, that's so
incredible.
close that it might even be the same art director. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely nuts. What the hell? I
need to watch this. This looks pretty sick, honestly.
Yeah, no, this looks sick as hell. 1991. Hey,
I'm sure.
Just did a check run to a blood. Maybe that came out in 1990. I don't know. Let's just check it out real quick. Oh, I accidentally clicked AI mode on Google search. 93. Oh man, I can't believe it. How did that happen? AI mode. What did you want to tell me about it? I'm gonna just skim this real quick to see if there's just anything patently wrong. Weirdly enough, there's nothing patently wrong. That's surprising. You can't trick me. That's not AI. If it didn't hallucinate some third playable character, that's not AI.
I also played a tiny bit of Soulframe, which I just got into the alpha for.
Bob, what is Soulframe?
That's that game from the people who made Warframe.
Well, that makes sense.
I know, crazy. It has an interesting introduction where a narrator is doing like a poem about your mom. So then you get to customize your mom with the poem. And that adjusts how your character looks.
Yeah, that's the character creator.
Yeah, it's
I don't
it's
have
pretty
words.
wild.
That's crazy.
That's really funny.
I did not get to play much of this, but it seems to be like an open world game. Like, I don't know if it's going to be their take on Genshin or their take on Elden Ring. I'm not sure yet. But the sword combat feels like a bit weightier than it did in Warframe, which always felt really, really loose. This is much more like grounded and feels like each hit has kinetic force to it, so that's neat. It's got a really cool art style that's some weird like sci-fi fantasy thing. Like, it's very strange and unlike basically anything I've seen. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say yet. I need to play more of this. I got to the end of the very guided content, which you have like hit right on the D-pad at any point and a bird flies to the next objective. And that stopped working. So I'm like, is that all you have?
Oh no.
Do I just explore the world now?
So Bob, how did this demo run for you? This beta?
It actually ran pretty decently for me.
Which again, you're using a 12,700 CPU and a 1080 Ti GPU.
Mm-hmm.
I spent about an hour fucking around with it on my laptop 3060 and couldn't get it above 14 frames a second.
Wow. Yeah, no, mine was usually sitting around 60, but like fluctuating, so it'd be like 55 to 60. Like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
That's
mine would fluctuate down to 9. Like, I set it to low and got it up to around 22 if I wasn't doing anything.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm assuming something just fucked up and I need to reinstall it.
That's possible, because it's like the power gap shouldn't be this big between our two machines.
And yet, I actually don't know what aggro CPU is.
Huh.
I have no idea. Maybe it's CPU bound.
Maybe.
Because the 12700 is not a terrible CPU.
Right.
And a 1080 Ti is decently powerful and has a decent amount of RAM. I don't know how much RAM the laptop 3060 has.
I was really glad it just let me turn off TAA.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You can do that? I thought that was illegal.
Yeah, when you have a custom engine, you can do that.
Whoa. What the fuck?
Make sure to have that feature when it launches on consoles.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm really excited for Fast Fusion to get that update.
Yeah?
Still waiting. I want to play that game. I want to play a game on my Switch too, but they decided that terrible image quality was good enough to ship as the only way to play it.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I also played a bunch of Steam NextFest stuff. So I don't know if we want to jump into that or...
Hey, Aggro, what you been playing?
I downloaded House of Da Vinci for PSVR 2, which is a puzzle game that was originally released on phones some years ago.
Huh.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's cool in 3D. You can't move around. You have to click to nodes to get to the thing, which is how it is in VR. And I understand that why they did it, that's how the game originally was. That's how it's designed. They were just porting it to VR. They didn't want to change that. I understand a lot of puzzle games do it so that they can have all these cool and intricate environments to look at without having all of this empty, puzzle-less space for you to wander around in fruitlessly.
Mm-hmm.
But I still fucking hate teleporting to set nodes in an environment. There's something about it that just feels gross. So picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You're walking down a back alley in Florence
Okay.
to go to Leonardo da Vinci's house because you and he are tight and you guys have some shit to talk about.
Okay.
When a nearby tower just blows the fuck up and Leonardo da Vinci on his weird paper wingamajig thing flies out of the smoke and careens off to the side.
Of course.
Now you have to find your way through all of the traps and puzzles of Leonardo da Vinci's house to get to his workshop to figure out why I think one of the Borgias is trying to kill him. Possibly for a time machine he invented.
Oh, okay.
I feel like maybe you shouldn't solve and deactivate all the traps protecting Da Vinci, but maybe that's just me. Maybe he's not your buddy.
He bailed.
Yeah, Da Vinci fucked off on the flying machine.
Okay, so he's not.
He escaped.
He didn't.
We're trying to investigate things, but the time machine could be in there,
It could be.
and we could accidentally lead them to it, Indiana Jones style. So I think the winning move is to not play the game at all. Actually,
Right?
The game translates really. I'm trying to think of an adverb for fun. Funly doesn't sound correct. To VR because it is a puzzle game. There are legitimate puzzles, but like half the game is just, hey, here's this weird thing made of wood. Poke this brass button on it, and a thing pops out and makes clickety-clack noises that are good for your brain. You twist this thing, and it makes more of those noises. Physically, the object doesn't make any sense, but it's making those little wood and clockwork noises while it does it, so it's cool.
so it's cool. That's how you know it's real. It makes the clicky sounds when you move it.
So, like, half the time you're like, oh, this is a puzzle I need to solve. And half the time, here's a weird handle with a shape on the end. Where did you see a hole shaped like this? And sometimes it's like, here's a contraption. What do I do with it? Solve it. Okay, let's see. I can move this thing and that corresponds to these two things. And there's some numbers up there that change when I do it. And I have no idea what the fuck those numbers are supposed to be. Like, click the hint. It just points to this contraption. Okay, I know I need to do the contraption. Click the hint again. You need to move the levers to move the thing. I'm not 4. I got that part. Click the hint again. These are what you need the numbers to say. Why do they need to say that? Gonna be real. The game is neat. Some of the puzzles are a little rough. I would not heartily endorse it unless you are a puzzle game sicko like me. Like, this is... I made a tweet some years ago, because I played this on the phone and forgotten most of it. I've now gotten farther in the VR version than I did on the phone. This was the game that inspired me to tweet, if you're making a 3D immersive puzzle game with lots of cool environmental puzzles, and then you make an unskippable 3x3 slider puzzle part of that game, quit your job.
But that's a puzzle.
Yes, it is. and you know, wild blackberries are food.
Uh-huh.
But if you put them on my pizza, we're going to have a problem. Where I just quit before we started recording for the day was like there are 3 tubes, and they're gradiated, and you've got levers that move liquid from one tube to the other, and it's just the fucking Die Hard 3. You need 5 to be in the tube with 6 slots, and 4 to be in the tube with 7 slots, and then 2 to be in the tube with 10 slots. So you've got to move the liquid around between them because it's all or nothing to be able to get the right amounts in. And I'm like, this isn't the same kind of puzzle. This I love puzzles in games where you have to figure out what the puzzle is and how to solve the puzzle. Dropping this shit in the middle of those is like those TED Talk YouTube videos where it's like, can you solve the riddle of the missing rubies? And you click on the video and it's a fucking math problem. Which is, for those of you keeping score at home, not a riddle.
I mean, he's not wrong, and I can't even devil's advocate on this one well.
Right. Yeah, it's funny to stick in something you'd see in a Resident Evil just at random.
I encountered a glitch in this game I'd never seen in VR, where my left hand just froze in place in such a way that when I brought up the menu to see if that would wake it up, you know, it's a VR game, so I bring up the menu and my fingers are pointing an opaque line at the options, but my left hand froze over the quit button, and my right hand couldn't activate anything else while the quit button was highlighted.
Oh no!
I have had that happen before.
Now, was that on PlayStation or on like Meta or something?
I had that happen on PlayStation.
Okay.
So it might be just a weird glitch of the PSVR 2 that's rare.
I mean, yeah, I do like, you know, you play on PSVR 2 when you're it's constantly losing track of your hands because they're down by your side where the cameras can't see them.
Right. See, we just
Never
need an
had it just
apparatus.
stop. Like all the
extend the
buttons still worked. The controller hadn't turned off.
No, it was just completely certain that your hand was in that one spot despite all evidence to the contrary. You know, the motion sensors are picking up me moving it so clearly. It cannot be perfectly fixed to the space like you seem to think it is. Do you want to guess where it is? It's still right there. God damn it.
Prove it's not. Moves left hand. I don't see that. But yeah, that's what I've been playing this week.
Okay. Hey, Chris. What you been up to?
Hey. So I streamed Mega Man X7 on Saturday.
You sure did.
That's unacceptable.
Correct.
Yeah.
Capcom should be ashamed they ever shipped that.
They
It is
should.
broken. It doesn't work. There is a part where I'm trying to wall kick up something in a 2D section, and it just starts bugging out. It's every stage is like 3 screens long.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't make anything.
Yeah, no, it's baffling because like this is after they made other PS2 games. They made plenty of 3D games in general.
Yeah. This is worse than anything, probably worse than anything Capcom shipped on that gen. Like, I'd rather play that I'd rather play that Gladiator game. I'd rather play Beat Down Fists of Vengeance.
That is a fucking streaming series. Find the bottom of the well for fucking bottom of the barrel for Capcom.
Also, fuck X. Fuck him. You know, I knew he was retired in this game, but I thought he had done like the Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi thing and left, not just taken a desk job at the station. That's unbelievably stupid.
Yeah.
Violence and this cycle of fighting is wrong, so I won't do it. I'll just do the infrastructure for it. This is yet another. Oh, due to circumstances, our heroes have to murder a bunch of people who basically don't deserve it. What a shame that keeps happening in every X game after 4.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Weird that keeps happening. Is this drama?
It's unbelievably funny how casual Sigma is. He like just appears at the end and is like, "Thanks for coming, fellas."
It's Sigma's birthday. Everyone's there.
The final boss of that game is alarmingly similar to the Savior in DMC4.
Yep. And that's a good thing for DMC4.
I hate Axel. I hate him more than I thought I could hate a character.
Yeah, he fucking sucks.
Yeah, he's really bad.
Every single fucking story beat of that game is about Axel, who sucks. Not helped by the fact in English, they give him a 9-year-old boy's voice.
Yeah.
That really is a millstone around his neck. But also, he's not interesting. He doesn't have anything going. His design is not only is different in a way that's bad, it also just isn't good. His power is terrible.
Yeah, no, that they keep focusing on that is crazy.
His dual guns are lame. Like, he just isn't good at all. I didn't even use X because the dog shit upgrade system.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well,
yeah.
I upgraded the other characters, so why would I use X? He doesn't have any upgrades. Why, if you miss the hostage, are they gone forever?
Oh, they hate you.
That's extra unacceptable in this game, where they literally, like, it seems like what they want me to do is just damage boost everything and grab those fucking hostages. Just keep going. Because if you hesitate for a single second, they die. They literally spawn enemies right on top of them.
Yeah, it's terrible. The survivor system in all of these games is like, this should never have been added. I don't know why you kept like hammering down on it.
It's better in X6 because in X6 it's only one kind of enemy that can destroy them.
Right.
They somehow made it worse.
Yes.
Just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
What about burning to the ground? How do you like that?
Well, whatever. Like, I kind of, since I played the UK version.
Okay.
You can swap versions on the Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2. And I'm like, I'm gonna play the version that's in English and where the damage tables aren't fucked up for no reason. And I doubt it really would have gone any different had I not done that. I just would have had to try.
Right. You'd have to try a few more times.
Or I don't even think I used the sub-tank I picked up, so I probably would have had to use the sub-tank. Or I maybe used it once in the final boss. It was so much worse than I ever could have imagined it being.
Yo, yeah. That game is unreasonably worse than any other Capcom game.
Like, guys, you made Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 on the PS1. Like, you can't do this.
Yeah, I believe it released after Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Devil May Cry was real early.
Yeah, this is like 2003.
This was 2003, yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah, Jesus. Mm-hmm. I always forget how late it is.
So it's just before Devil May Cry 3, in a sense.
Well, 2 years before, but
wasn't 3 2004?
No, it's 5.
Oh,
no,
okay,
never mind. Man, DMC2 kicks the shit out of this.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even close.
DMC2 is terrible, but it kind of works. It kind of functions, I mean. Not works as in is good. It works as a piece of art. I mean, works as in boots.
Yeah, no, if this was a skin of DMC2, it would be way better a game.
Of course.
I also got through Deltarune 3 and 4. I'm glad that it seems like they're gonna at least try to get out at least one chapter a year going forward. They were like, come back in 2026. I don't have much to say about that. It's just really good, and Toby Fox continues to be extremely funny and a very good musician.
Shocker.
Crazy. No one saw this coming.
There is just like here's where the money is. You're gonna be shocked the shit we're doing in a game that uses sprites. Toby Fox might be the biggest weeaboo in the world.
Not surprising.
Because constantly in these chapters, there are samples and sound effects that are from Nintendo games, but they aren't directly from Nintendo games because that wouldn't be acceptable. So it's him recreating them with his mouth. At least I assume it's Toby Fox's voice. I don't know who the fuck else's it would be. But there's a character and a lot of you have to enter your name for a thing, like inside the game. You have to like an arcade thing. And every time the guy who demands you do that says names, it does the okay desu ka?
Okay,
From Earthbound. But it's obviously Toby Fox. It is not that exact sound clip.
Which is even more absurd because that clip is them stealth recording the Shigesato Itoi in a meeting without him knowing, and then they put it in the game to punk him.
What?
Yeah.
And also there's one point where it's him doing the Mario and Luigi like Italian gibberish.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I can't really talk about the story at all or the mechanics or anything. They keep adding new mechanics. Like they keep coming up with bizarre new ways you have to dodge.
Of course. That's what you
like,
do.
Okay, here's my attack. You're in a Pac-Man maze now. Get the pellets. I also started Saga Frontier 2 Remastered. Here's the thing you need to know about Saga Frontier 2. If you played the original version of that game and didn't use a guide, you're getting soft locked. It's not a question of if you get soft locked, it's a question of when you get soft locked. Because here's the way Saga Frontier 2 works. The game is a series of they call them scenarios. This is yet another one of those mid to late 90s Squaresoft games where they're bizarrely like fascinated with the idea of making an RPG that is like an anime, as in like it has episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Legend of Mana does that with having the episode titles and the eye catches when you finish one. Saga Frontier has that thing where sometimes it just hard cuts to art and then you're somewhere else because the episode ended.
Yeah, it does the eye catch.
But in this you select them from a menu because they're all across the world over like 100 years. And so in the original game, only some of these scenarios have combat at all.
Mm-hmm.
Only some have like non-scripted combat, like dungeon sequences. You don't know which ones have those. You never get to pick your party because it's always set by the scenario. So you never know who's going to be in your party. I think they tell you who the lead character of that scenario is. So the end result is and also almost every weapon in the game has durability.
Ugh.
So what usually ends up happens, and this happened to me both times I tried to beat this game when I was younger. I didn't try to use a guide either time. I was like, well, I'll figure it out. And I didn't. But you need to know what scenario, you need to know like, okay, this is a scenario where I have a dungeon. I have to grind. Or like they put me in a town in this scenario. I better buy some extra gear.
Does it transfer between scenarios?
In the original, I don't think your money transferred between scenarios, but like between characters. But I think your inventory was static, but it might not have been. I don't remember.
Weird.
So the end result was what would inevitably happen is you didn't correctly identify the characters that would be around longer term and grind them up, so you're too weak to beat some kind of boss, or you'd run out of usable gear because you didn't know when you should buy it. And they fixed both of these problems in the remaster. They fixed the gear problem by putting the Pocket Station shit back in.
Oh, cool.
And the Pocket Station shit just funnels you gear endlessly funnels you gear. To the point it feels like that was maybe part of the intended balance of the original version.
Huh.
Also, your money is a constant between everybody. And they included a thing called parameter inheritance, which means you can equip a character with a previous character. Like you can link them, and then they get all the stats they gained while you playing them. Like not all their stats, but everything you got them. And this makes it so much more viable to beat. There's apparently in a thing that I'm very happy about. These Square Enix remasters seem to be moving towards like, do you want the new shit? That's a separate mode. We have the vanilla one right here. Because when you boot that game, it's like, do you want these new features that make it stop stomping on your dick? And also there's a couple more story scenarios that weren't there before. Which, based on all the ones that I know are new, are like, man, that story was a lot less cogent without these. This scenario they added sure explains why these two characters were at war with each other later.
That's the Square Enix PS1 game special.
This is the worst one. Like, even Saga Frontier 1, I think, is more surmountable without a guide than Saga Frontier 2. Saga Frontier 2's rough. So, one of the main groups. This is another thing we're playing it as adult, and I just see all the anime in it, like all the references, or not references, but like I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Now, try and follow along. There's this family called the Knights family. And over the course of the game, you play as different generations of them.
Oh yeah.
And there's this recurring evil force that is linked to them.
Okay. Yeah.
That maybe needs to drain specifically this family's energy to achieve its goal.
I've never heard anything like this before.
Holy shit, it's One Piece.
Bizarrely, the primary antagonist of this game is, what if Dio was also Griffith?
An interesting combination.
There's also the other main man, the other like generational thing is Gustav, and I think Aggro would love Gustav because he's one of the most Chad-like RPG protagonists in history. So in Saga Frontier, they don't at the start of the game, nobody uses steel because they came up with magic to use wood and stone weapons.
Here, I thought it was because the queen cast a spell to turn all the steel into rock.
So that could be more effective than steel. So they just never bothered, and steel's difficult to work with, yada yada. So Gustav is a prince that was born without the ability to use magic. He doesn't have any anima, which is like the mana. It's what they use for mana. So he gets exiled along with his mom. And he meets a blacksmith who's making a steel knife. Because he's like, I don't fucking like doing magic all the time, so I'm just gonna make a steel. I make a steel cooking knife. So he learns blacksmithing to make a steel sword, and then discovers, oh shit, steel armor resists magic. But nobody uses it because it's D&D rules where wearing it makes you unable to use magic.
That's pretty good.
So he proceeds to he becomes like a conqueror. He becomes like Nobunaga Oda with his steel troopers who can just walk through magic and they kill people with steel spears.
In the land of druids, the level 3 fighter is king.
Also, like at just one point, he just puts on the guts armor.
Oh,
He just starts wearing the guts armor because he made himself a gut-sized sword. Also, but yeah, I highly recommend this remaster if you want to try a weird cryptid PS1 RPG. It's a lot more surmountable now. I would still probably look up a guide to tell you how arts work, because
Yeah.
in Saga Frontier 1, it was as simple as use an ability you have, and it will maybe spark, which is the character gets a light bulb above their head, like, I figured something out, and then they do a new move. And it was unique to each character, so they didn't carry over between characters. In Saga Frontier 2, they do carry over between characters, so once you unlock a new art, anybody can equip it. But the main way you get them is through duels. A lot of enemies, when you enter a fight with them, they'll have a big sprite and it'll be like, do you want to send out one of your party members to fight them one-on-one? Or do you want to fight them as a team, which will be a normal encounter? In the duels, you don't just select attack. Like, for example, if you're using a sword, your character will have slash, backslash, cleave, feint, charge, prepare, and focus. And you get to select 4 each round. And if you select the right combination of them, you learn an art. Maybe. It's RNG based also, which is why as a kid I couldn't figure it out. It's not only RNG based, certain enemies also have a much higher chance of letting you learn new arts off them. It is a cryptic game. The upscaled backgrounds look better than I've ever seen them look in a game like this. The only time you can go, that's fucked up, is when a background has a portrait in it, like on the wall. That doesn't survive all that well. But yeah, very good. I think I'm about halfway through it. I look forward to finally beating that game. And then, like Saga Frontier 1, I can be like, oh, all the mystery is gone because I did every single thing in it. What is it? Who lamented because there was nothing left to conquer?
Alexander.
So yeah, that's all I played this week. Those 3 things.
I feel like there'll always be some obscure PS1 JRPG you haven't conquered yet.
I mean, there's
Right?
It's true, but it's always
or whatever.
It's always a mixed feeling when I completely scour a game that I had as a child and did not understand at all.
That means we're getting into Bob's Steam NextFest segment. Bob, what's been steaming this week?
All right, let's see. Vindictus, Defying Fate.
Okay.
So this is a demo I actually played, I think it was a year, maybe 2 years ago, but it's back again. Vindictus is a online action MMO that's more like, I think it's going to be, it's like them doing a Dark Souls, weirdly. Like, it's not a regular MMO anymore. And last time I played the demo, it was just Dark Souls style stages with bonfires in between. Mm-hmm. And then what's been added now is all the stuff around that, which is a bunch of generic MMO trash of wandering around a town with a bunch of generic NPCs and watching cutscenes that are high fidelity and impressive, but nothing happens.
Yep.
It's like, why are these here? These actively make the game worse. I now will not but play your game. So that was cool to find out. I also tried White Knuckle, which is a first-person climbing game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, we saw it at one of the shows or showcases last week. it's got a really grungy like horror aesthetic to it. Your main character has like his hands are completely solid white in 2D, and as you grab stuff, you can tell your grip is running out by then turning red. And the controls are actually pretty intuitive, but also kind of difficult. Like the L2 and R2 buttons grab with each hand, and you have to sort of maneuver around and grab all sorts of handholds and jump in weird ways. And the whole thing seems to be designed around speed running in one area. So you're trying to climb out of the sewer, and there's just all sorts of things like, okay, the water's slowly rising. You have to get up to each next level, and then it shuts the doors on you when you get to a new level. And what ended up killing me more than anything else, which maybe just kind of dropped the demo, was at the end of each of these sections of sewer, there is that door I just mentioned. And if you miss the jump to get through the door shuts, and then you just die. Like, then the water raises insanely fast, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter. You were making good time. The water now will get you because the door shut. Because it registers when you, like, get near it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Kind of fucked up God of War rules is this?
So yeah, pretty frustrating as far as that goes. It felt like there was also going to be a lot of different tools that make climbing more interesting too, though. Like, it starts out normal and like getting, the climbing spikes. You get a hammer, you nail them in, and then you can use those as climbing pieces. But then you also get just rebar, and you show the rebar into the wall, and then it's stuck there, and you can climb on it. It's like,
Yeah, that's how you do it.
you just throw rebar into stone walls?
Yeah, you can't do that.
I'm not going to hit it with hammer. That shit's like tool hardened.
So that's neat. I didn't really dig the grungy horror aesthetic or the roguelike nature of it. I was kind of hoping it'd be a little bit more normal. It's still worth a try. It's really neat. There's nothing that feels quite like it. It feels like they tried to translate one of those climbing VR games into a controller or mouse-based system. And it kind of worked.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
I also tried Goblin Cleanup.
Okay.
You play as a goblin maid girl, and you clean up a dungeon that's right after like a hero party went through and tore everything up, and you need to like fix up the place. So it's basically, it's trying to be like Power Wash Simulator, I think, because there's like blood and guts on the ground. You need to pick up little slimes you put on the end of a pokey stick and then rub into the ground as a mop. And then you pick up chunks of meat and throw them into the mimic that's like your trash can.
Yeah, this sounds like Viscera cleanup detail. That's
that is a different game. Yeah, it is similar to that as well. And you also need to rearrange all the objects in the dungeon, like the tables and chairs and everything will be misplaced, and you'll see the silhouette of where they need to go, and you pick it up and you put it in the place. And I don't know. I don't think I have the right brain disease for this. Because I get to the point where like, okay, I rearranged everything in the dungeon. I got all the stuff in the right place. And then it's like, there's 150 bloodstains to clean up. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't have any desire to do that at all. Also, you can die to traps and then make more bloodstains, and you just respawn and have to clean up your own corpse.
We have some questions in chat.
Yeah.
So one of them is, why is the male not twinkier and sluttier?
I mean, sometimes you go through life constantly asking that question.
Okay. These aren't questions. There's more of statements. Well, Goblin's too tall, lost interest, and ass not fat enough. Any comments on?
Look, what can I say? I think it's like one artist. I guess they got the wrong one.
Jeez, that's rough. Okay.
It didn't appeal to the right goblin customers.
Right.
I also tried out predecessors. The S is in parentheses.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, but sorry, it's possessors. The S is in parentheses. My bad.
I was like, Bob, predecessor came out. Why are you playing it right now?
This is a Metroidvania made by I thought I wrote it down. I didn't. The guys who did Heart Machine, yeah. The guys who did Hyper Light Drifter.
Okay.
And published by Devolver Digital. Why didn't Devolver Digital do a real show this year?
I don't know.
This game just showed up at a different showcase.
It did. And I got real annoyed and upset that they had so many games they could have shown.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they did the least funny thing possible, which precluded them from showing other games.
Yeah, I don't get it. I have no idea what came over them. This game seems neat though. It feels like a little bit more Metroid-y than Metroidvania-y because there's not that much leveling and stuff. It's you get new abilities as you go through, and you also get things that you can attach to your weapons to enhance them. So there are RPG elements, but it's not heavily there. And all the new movement abilities are also combat abilities. So I got like a whip that I can use as a Devil May Cry 4 style, like grab a dude and pull him over to you. And also works as a sort of using for swinging points in the levels, which I think the swing actually felt pretty good. I think the movement in this game feels pretty good, which is nice. I also got a parry, which was another... It works in the combat, of course, but then there are parry doors that you can get
Parry doors.
Which was kind of funny. The art style is pretty nice. I think it's like a cool looking 2D art against 3D backgrounds, and they match pretty well. But I for the life of me, I can't remember the music, and that's kind of a problem. I feel like you need good music in your Metroid style game. But yeah, the combat's pretty solid and seems neat. I definitely will try the full version. I also tried out Everdeep Aurora.
Real quick, that last game, make sure you said it
Yes,
on the way out, is Possessors.
Possessors.
With parentheses around the S at the end.
Yes.
And even Googling that will bring up some TV show question mark? Anyway, what's the next game?
Everdeep Aurora.
Okay.
It's a 2D exploration game with the Game Boy inspired visuals, and it's like 2D platformer style. So not like top-down Zelda, but instead you're a platformer, but it's about exploration and not platforming or combat. I have to emphasize this because, oh man, the platforming feels terrible.
Okay.
There are parts where the jump won't work.
What?
Oh.
Sometimes it just doesn't work. So that's the thing.
Huh. Okay. Like I downloaded this demo a couple weeks ago, but I couldn't get it to recognize my Pro controller. So I was using my laptop arrow keys to play it, and I thought maybe that's the reason this game feels terrible to play.
Yeah, this also is one of those games where it's like only the analog stick moves your character. I have other ideas for the D-pad. It's like
I wish
they're wrong.
yes. Yeah. It looks really nice. The art style is great. It's always in a 4:3 aspect ratio, and there's like your inventories in the side margin, and you use your D-pad to navigate that. It's like, guys,
I could hold a button.
yeah, you could hold a button. You could use the analog stick. You could do any number of things. You do not do those though. You use the D-pad. Yeah, and the world's also set up in a really odd and confusing way. The very first thing it does is like, okay, here's the spooky mansion. Go in there and find 4 dudes. I'm like, okay, cool. There's also a weird mechanic where you hit up and down to go into the foreground background, but it feels like certain areas are not connected properly. So I'm just like, where is this? Is this in the mansion? I don't know anymore. Am I looking here for the creature or not? Also, the color palettes and songs swap abruptly. Like
Really?
you'd think that they would do like transitions or anything, but no. It's like, okay, I jumped to this one platform in the castle, shift the music, shift the color. It looks terrible and sounds abrupt.
Okay, look, you can do that, but you got to make the Super Game Boy sound for the palette swap. You have to do the snap it makes.
Yeah, no, if there was any transitionary sound, if there was anything to signify it at all, it would work, but it does not. So yeah, I do not recommend this one. That was Everdeep Aurora.
As people are pointing out, the pixel art is really good.
Yes, absolutely. Great pixel art, great art style in general. It needs a lot of work, which I assume it will not get.
Yeah, it's kind of safer to hedge on. Probably won't get it versus will.
Yeah.
Been burned in the past.
Mm-hmm. Next one I tried was Hotel Barcelona.
Okay.
This is the new game from Suda51 and Swery.
It's true. It's true.
It's got really cool looking art and character designs.
Me Googling that has brought up hotels in, check this out, Barcelona.
My God. This is a roguelike. It's a really bad 2D action game
Bob,
with 3D graphics.
You sound so tired, Bob.
Exhaustingly bad. Like, this feels awful to play. And it sucks because it's like, oh, there's all this cool character writing that Suda clearly has some hand in. Back at your home base. And then you go out into the field and do this completely awful combat. It just feels miserable. I don't even feel a way to describe in what ways it feels miserable. It's just moving feels bad, attacking feels bad, parrying feels bad, everything feels bad.
I'm seeing these weird red spirits travel near our character as they're about to enter the house that has a light.
The red spirits are your other runs, like they show visually.
Okay.
I think that they can interact with enemies too. I think. I'm not entirely sure how it works.
Okay.
After like 2 runs, I just stopped playing.
Chat is saying this looks like a 7th gen game, like one of those downloadables.
It does look like one of those.
It does.
It's like weird, low-budget Bionic Commando re-art. Also, every stage is just basically a flat plane you run and fight enemies on. It's like, wow, that's definitely what I want to do in my 2D action game. You nailed it.
Yep.
So that was Hotel Barcelona.
Okay, you seem not thrilled.
It sure has the name of 2 creators I kind of am interested in seeing a game from on it.
And yet, for some reason, you didn't like this. Strange.
Jupiter Junk Works.
Is Junk Works all one word?
It's all one word, yeah.
Okay.
This is a game we saw during the Australian game event. It's anime Tetris. By that, I mean it's weird, bizarro Tetris with an anime girl next to it that's 3D, hitting buttons on her machine that crushes stuff that is the Tetris game. But imagine Tetris with a bunch of weird shapes that don't match well. And then other mechanics where there's also some parts of the Tetris blocks are glowing. You need to line those up so you can harvest their energy, and they break apart in different ways. And you can also, if you have gaps in the middle of your Tetris pile, you can smash the Tetris pieces into it to flatten them all down.
I swear I've run into this game before, but I don't know what it is.
Right? Yeah, it feels like something. It reminded me a lot of Trash Panic. But it's not quite like Trash Panic. Trash Panic is more...
Nothing is quite like Trash Panic. That is, of course, aside from Truck Stick.
Yeah, Trash Panic is a lot more just madness. Like, there's clearly no true thought to it. It's just smash everything to the trash can. Whereas this, you have actual shapes you were trying to line up. You have this other element with lining up the colored pieces. Like, there's things going on. I didn't find it particularly interesting, and it feels like it takes forever to do anything because there's elaborate animations for every time you drop a block.
Oh.
It has a cool aesthetic, though, and all the menus are done on like a little cassette tape player, which I thought was
cool.
neat.
Yeah, no, that's really tight.
It's all voice acted.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I feel like most of the characters like don't have heavy Australian accents, and one just does. Which worked, but it was like very strange. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you also build a meter while you collect stuff to like, you know how you can shove stuff. I talked about how you could shove blocks into other blocks. There's a way where you turn it into like a super powered shot that knocks down even more.
Whoa.
Crushes stuff even farther down.
My God, how exciting.
I know. It's like you have to clear 50 lines in 10 minutes.
Oh.
And that is actually a task because of how long it takes to clear a line.
Yeah, I bet.
So yeah, I don't really recommend it, but it's got neat art. I guess it's worth checking out if you're just desperate for puzzle games. And that was Jupiter. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I had kind of the same thing as you. I wasn't interested in the game that was here, but the surrounding aesthetic of having like the 3D character operating the thing on the side of the puzzle game was really cool.
Yeah, no, I liked a lot going on here. It's sad about the game. That was Jupiter Junk Works. I also tried another Devolver digital classic, Ball X Pit.
Cool. How's Ball Pit, Bob?
So it's a breakout roguelike
It is.
that reminds me a lot of Vampire Survivors. Because you're like controlling instead of a paddle, you're a little dude, and you're shooting balls constantly. And every enemy you kill drops little experience orbs. So you're grabbing all those, you level up, and then you get a new upgrade or new type of ball. And those are your equipment. It even has a leveling system a lot like it's Vampire Survivors, where you get 2 different ball types and they combine. And yeah, it is extremely like Vampire Survivors. So if you like that and want to try a Vampire Survivors breakout, it's really neat.
Bob, would you believe Googling Ball X Pit is still just bringing up ball pits?
I would actually.
Oh, God. How the fuck am I going to find this game?
It also has, when between runs, the way that leveling up works, like building up your stats between runs, your characters level up like they would in like, I guess Vampire Survivor doesn't do that, does it? Anyway, they do level up and they get stronger, just like base stat wise. They actually have like attack defense values and stuff like that. But there's also a town you're building.
Yes.
And you construct that with materials you find in the level. And then to like, okay, you built a farm and you built a forest so they can chop trees from. To actually harvest the stuff from those items, you send your guy out and he bounces around like a pinball. And you have to make sure you pinball him around in the time he can go out there. Like he gets, I don't know, like 5 seconds to bounce around. So you better hope he hits every farm. And if you have to put a building down, he also needs to bounce into that like 3 times to actually build it.
Okay,
or
Bob,
else you won't have the facility working.
I figured it out. I got it to bring up the game. I just added the word GIF to my query and let me know. I'll let you know. It got a perfect image to show the gameplay of this game.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Wow, that's wild. I hate searching this game's name up is what I'm discovering.
Yeah,
because the internet and screen handles on the internet have trained everyone to ignore X's.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was like, can you put Devolver Digital? I don't know. Maybe that would do it.
Yeah, maybe this is a video game GIF. Because it was bringing up the game. Okay, there we go. There we go.
But yeah, you can get lots of cool different ball types and adjusters for the ball. Like some of the power-ups can be detrimental. Like one of them's like, oh yeah, the ball travels through every enemy and hurts them going through. But then when it hits the back wall, that's when it can actually start doing damage. So you can only basically damage stuff from the back wall. So you need to shoot it with the ghost ball all the way to the back, and then it bounces back and hits them from the back. So sometimes that can be really annoying.
Yeah.
And not ideal for many situations. They have what they call baby balls.
Uh-huh.
Which are the little balls that your guys always shoots out. Because you can only, every time you shoot out a big ball, which you can hold, I think, 4 major big balls. In between that, you're shooting little balls.
Yeah.
And the big balls actually can be bounced like a breakout game. Whereas the mini balls, you don't really concern yourself with that because they just shoot out from you constantly.
Right, yeah.
And you can also up and down the speed at any point in the game, which is helpful because the game honestly starts kind of slow.
Interesting.
I had my best runs when I was just like max the speed out. I don't need to wait around. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I wouldn't make my entire conference about it. Devolver.
I love this game. just based on its breakout.
It even
What are you doing?
He even has a cool boss at the end of the demo. It's that big skeleton you see there for a few seconds as a gift for showing. Yeah. You actually need to like bounce around, hit him in the back, and it's like a bullet hell style patterns from him too. Lots of good stuff in this. And that was Ball X Pit from Devolver Digital, their only game, I hear.
Their only game. Ignore the other games we have talked about. When the hell is that coming out?
I don't know, actually.
Date. Your throat bothering you in the middle of Steam NextFest. That's good time. Do you need a second to go get water or something? You can
Yeah,
do
yeah, I think it's
Chad, I think we can all agree that Bob earned a second to go get fluids so he could stop choking, right? Hey, at least Steam's on top of this. It's literally saying it is like Vampire Survivors. That is surprisingly on point for Steam. Allegedly, you can still download the demo.
Yeah, they didn't take that one down.
That's surprising. A random number of these just get pulled down.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't come down this year, but Mina did. And was like, guys, you're an indie game. What are you doing? I know you're not actually indie anymore, but come on, at least try and pretend that you're...
You guys kickstarted this game.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Be at least nice to the Kickstarter backers. I apparently threw $50 into that game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know I did that much.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I even at the time, I was like, they don't need my fucking money.
Right. No, I also thought that. I just wanted whatever they were offering. I guess I really wanted that art book.
Okay, sure. Art books are cool. They're cool. You feeling good, Bob?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Am I good to step away to get a drink?
Sure.
Okay. What is the name of the next game so I can at least update that?
Oh, no, that was it. I'm sorry.
Oh, then no, I don't get to...
I thought that we could just chat.
We can... Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go get a drink. Chris, Aggro, Bob, talk about your feelings.
Bob,
Yeah, what's up?
take your shirt off.
No, we're not talking about that.
Okay, Aggro no longer gets to talk about his feelings.
He's not here. He doesn't know. Bob, I want to feel you.
No.
We need to make you a dad.
No. Anything else?
This is what happens when I step away.
Chris, do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, I'm not helping you.
Oh, no, come on.
Yeah, Bob. This is what happens when regular people stand by and do nothing to stop it.
Aggro site is based on movement?
I'm glad we all decided not to talk about that.
I mean, if you want to move on to a different topic, I just looked down and my pinky toenail is a color it shouldn't be.
No.
I think
Oh, that's
I hit
concerning.
I think I hit it harder against that door jam than I thought.
Oh, no, that's awful. This is like watching Ballerina again.
Like, do you think my door jams are made out of guys' dicks?
Oh, no,
Do you think the movie Ballerina is made out of guys' dicks?
That movie, because it was made entirely based on one scene from John Wick 3, of course, needed to include that scene with the ballerina messing up her toes again.
Yeah, the toenail thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just the thing about being a ballerina.
Yes, of course. And if this movie were about ballerinas, this would make sense. But it's not. Ballerina, in fact, after she gets the ballerina training, that never comes up again. Which...
It's like if the movie Batman Begins was called Batman Begins and he's Batman for 20 minutes. Anyways, pretty funny to still be upset about Valerie. There were some people in chat who were like, the movie's fine if you like action and you turn off your brain. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's a John Wick thing. So I'm kind of pissed that the action isn't as good as a John Wick thing is the problem here.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Tosh was upset because in the chat, I swear to you, I'm being 100% honest, and I don't know what she's talking about, but I am certain it's true. In the background of a shot in the movie Ballerina, there is a very prominently lit and colorful, in an otherwise uncolorful scene, hanging sausage. And her brain went, this is a Chekhov's gun. That's going to mean something. And then they cut away and never did anything with sausage. So we get out of the theater and she's like, what the fuck was with that sausage? And I'm like, what are you talking about? So whenever I inevitably have to watch that for Cursed Content Club or something, I'm looking forward to being like, hey, it's the sausage. Oh, hey, I'm back. We could do things other than whatever the hell happened the moment I stepped away. It sounded all terrible. Hey, Chris, what do you got coming up? What?
On Saturday, I'm going to stream Mega Man X8 and then rank every Mega Man game that I played. Because we're going to be moving away from Mega Man for a little while after that.
But
Me shoving Wily
Network
Wars and Extreme 2 and the Game Gear one into like the bin and running.
Like, no.
But the Game Gear one's so short and so funny.
So yeah, please look forward to Mega Man X8.
We're gonna stream something tomorrow. I'm a little under the weather, so I don't know, something short. Probably Streets of Rage 4, to be honest. Streets of Rage 4 is a fucking great ass video game.
Yeah, and it's pretty short.
Chad, did you know Streets of Rage 4 is like a great ass video game? Yeah, that's it. Please look forward to Streets of Rage 4. Anyways. Podlords.
Oh fuck.
Oh, fuck. Bob, take your shirt off.
What the fuck is... Bob, what is this? I don't know why this is. Bob, will you stop sending Ambrose subliminal messages telling him to tell you to take your shirt off?
How could you do this to me, Bob?
Yeah, this is fucked up that you did that to him. Just like the room taught us that women do sex to men.
Oh my god.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords.
Chad, you don't know it, but I photoshopped myself to be fatter in that image every week, so I look better now.
Podlords such as BN12, Red Blaze 27, Suzu Shiro, Rado, Wonderful, Remastered, WTF Spider-Man, Mr. I Like Spam.
Those sure are some nice times you got there. Be a shame if somebody made them interesting.
Shiny Mew.
No? No, that's not.
Chrissy. Summer Game Juicifrost. Cooper Tank. Don't worry, Bungie. We here at Sony are more than willing to provide you with a new artist for your game.
They probably also worked at Bungie at some point.
Oh, Concord failed. Back in the death pit. No!
We're gonna fill the death pit with concrete in 6 months, but until then...
Indigo Sykes. 40 plus DuckTales appreciator. Gaiden. Shinji 16 would like to remind you that legally actionable verb billionaires is an act of self-care and a way to celebrate Pride.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Based.
A raccoon looking at you.
Oh, it's so close.
Sarah Lean.
Timothy Pfister is thinking about how Switch 2 mouse controls are perfect for a new Trauma Center, a series that's not that old. No, that's still pretty new.
Yeah, they're just itching to bring it back. It's only gone like a year, right?
Ooh, Planana.
What? Oh my god.
They made Pauline Lady Raricio.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
I was thinking it might be the bird, but no, it's Mauricio. Oh my god. Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, and also fuck off.
Bearded Joe.
Leo Chrome. Cast and Chill is a delightfully relaxing game. The sprite work is phenomenal, and the time of day shifting on the lake creates a
Oh no, we'll be.
I need to go back and play that one. Hopefully, they didn't take the demo down.
Tyler Durden had a job as a game dev. Why? Because it affords him opportunities, like splicing in single frames of nightmares. He foresaw the state of the video game industry, but we did not heed his warnings. Virmvarm. Medea Lily.
Yeah.
Different Dimension Proud Chevalier.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Master and Commander is getting a 4K Steelbook.
Yeah. Oceans are battlefields.
New hyperfixation acquired. I don't know. I like the 9 souls. I don't want Deltarune 3 and 4 to show up in Podlord. Yeah. Cryptid Bird. Digital Basic. Vile Fulgor. And Vada Huff. Thank you very much to our Podlord.
Looks like he's a puppet
Thank
of
you,
some sort of
Podlords.
Arncar. I don't like it.
Thank you. Oh no, don't do that.
Oh, it's Fulgore.
Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thank you, Podlords. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcasts. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits such as early access to Chugging, Bleach, and a couple different podcasts that I'm going to keep saying will be soon, and eventually that'll be right. You also get many other benefits such as extended content for gamer premonitions and armchair devs when those shows come out. You get a patron-funded show one a month, either a bad thing that we watch and then talk about and release publicly, and patrons get a commentary track, or a good thing that you get to vote on, and then we have a little roundtable discussion, and that is a patron exclusive. Also, an entire movie called Isolation 119. If you support our Patreon and have not watched Isolation 119, you owe it to yourself. That's an experience that you don't get over. But patreon.com/GVPodcast, and it always helps immensely to tell your friends, rate us on Thursdays, rate us with your podcasting app of choice, and leave a comment and subscribe on YouTube if you listen that way right now, especially all the different channels. If the show you're listening to has a different channel.
Patreon.com/GBpodcast. It's a good thing nothing bad happened. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one bad thing happened.
Not yet, it hasn't.
Okay. What? One moment. Because we have news. There we go. I don't like Acura looking like that.
No, it's terrible.
Neither do I.
It's disconcerting.
Industry burning down segment, go.
So Marathon has been delayed indefinitely.
Yeah.
They said right before they said this that it would still be out within the fiscal year, so it can't be that delayed.
Yeah. They can't delay it enough to actually make it good, so.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck their plan is. Like, guys, more time ain't gonna, people ain't gonna, did you not see how Suicide Squad went?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they've just got to retool the gameplay and crawl through every piece of art to make sure that nothing else has been stolen and replace all that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so the
Yeah,
soundtrack's solid, right? We're
They
good.
only have to completely revamp the gameplay experience so it isn't terrible for solo players while also not impacting it for team players. They need to take out all the art that anybody ripped off and also just somehow find a way to turn the tide of discourse about the game, which frankly isn't fucking possible.
I read the the message they released, and a lot of it reads like games like Marathon need this and this and this. And it's like, yo, I think a game like Marathon maybe is the problem.
Yeah, as games, due to mismanagement, games take so long to come out now, and I've talked about this briefly before, that like it is now impossible to trend chase, because by the time your game comes out, the trend is over.
Yeah.
And service games are like the most extreme version of that, where just like everybody is throwing garbage at you when you announce a service game now. And we have at least 2 more years of these companies having to announce these doomed service games. They should do that. Honestly, I won't be shocked if they cancel Marathon during this delay.
They should. It's at that point, like, it's unsalvageable. I don't know what they can turn around.
It's just going to be another Concord.
I guess something else that came out during this, from this passionate feedback, was, hey, the story also isn't dark enough and doesn't fit with the old Marathon. So that's one of the bullet points, like, oh, we're going to make the story darker. It's like,
okay,
no.
Question.
Get in the fridge.
That the old Marathon also had an aesthetic. Are you gonna add any of that in?
No.
Or,
we're locked in on this stolen aesthetic that definitely won't come back to bite us.
No, we're good. It's fine.
Yeah.
My God. I think it's funny. The number one thing you all need to take out of this, the number one lesson here is, remember when we said the marketing money for the marketing was pulled weeks ago?
Uh-huh.
And then the dev team found out from this announcement?
Yeah, that's crazy. How does that sort of thing keep happening?
We cannot stress to you enough.
Have fun, Marathon team. You're going to be working 80-hour weeks for the next 8 months.
We cannot stress to you enough.
It'll make the game better, we promise.
On the ground floor don't fucking know. So when we get leaks and people who are actively working on the game are like, no, that ain't happening, do not go. Well, they said it wasn't happening. We're good, though. We can pull out of here.
Yeah.
It's such a mess.
Yeah, as bad as working on this game must be, imagine working on Fair Games and like looking over, peeking out your office door as the Grim Reaper moves past Concord and approaches Marathon.
It's amazing because I still see people who try to be like, well, you know, Jim was just trying to do a new thing because the single player games got so expensive. I'm like, Astrobot.
Yeah,
Go fuck yourself, Astrobot.
These multiplayer games are more expensive and will make nobody back.
Yeah, so your issue, instead of working to make your development pipeline more efficient, not starting games before there's a clear design document, not elevating people who are good at managing projects, so those single player games become more feasible to ship quicker and for less money. Instead, we will move to the single genre that costs the most, takes the longest to come out, and has the statistically highest chance of falling into eternal development hell.
Yeah,
that's a great fucking argument.
Yeah, no,
and also the genre that needs to be constantly developed after release.
So you're sealing the fucking emperor's workers inside the tomb with him. It's like, oh yeah, you won. You get to be buried in the pyramid. And good job, good for you, happy for you. This is the rest of your career now, is making content for this game if it succeeded. Oh, it didn't? Well, now you just die in there.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking insane. It's absolutely fucking insane that I see anyone defend this motherfucker. Because it's like, dude, this fucking Astrobots right there. You can make things that aren't Astrobot at the budget and scale of Astrobot. There is a fucking demand. Astrobot is not a completely unique entity in the history of man.
Well, not anymore. We have Super Meat Boy 3D.
And that was the only other thing like it.
Obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, guys, you're aware that there are many first-party PS4 games that sold unbelievably well, looked immaculate, still look immaculate, and cost under $100 million.
Yeah, and were made relatively quickly compared to modern ones.
Maybe the issue is less single-player games cost too much money now, and now you no longer make anything like Uncharted 4.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking ridiculous. Let's move on. Hey, Aggro, you got news?
Yes, in news that is less surprising as it is upsetting, Nintendo did that thing that they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
Several users who were using an SD card device called the MIG Switch, upon which they had, according to self-reports, had dumped their completely legal ROMs of games they had bought and were playing them on the Switch too. Nintendo hit the button and sent them out error code 2124-5408, completely restricting their console's access to the internet.
Now, I'm not defending Nintendo doing this.
Mm-mm.
But what the fuck did you think would happen?
Yeah, basically.
Like, obviously over-policing is bad, but you also shouldn't smoke crack in front of a cop. Like, I can
it's
have
legal crack,
both
though.
ideas in my mind.
No.
Like, you disconnect it from its fucking internet, you turn off its connections, and when you're gonna you don't turn it back on while that shit is in your Switch. Like, what is hard about this?
This is very
Apparently,
complicated.
this worked just fine on the Switch 1 for a while.
Yeah. As it turns out, new device more
Yeah,
secure
the
than
Switch
old
2
device.
is, as they say, built different. So, like, they turn your internet off, you call Nintendo, like, hey, I wasn't doing anything wrong. They're like, we're Nintendo, suck a dick. If you try to factory reset your Switch, it's still there. You just now don't have any of the games you had downloaded before.
Huh.
Wow.
Yep.
So how do they deal with somebody just selling it? Just flipping it?
I don't think they care.
Yeah, no, that like
It's
now
still
it's
brick.
basically
That's
brick.
not their problem.
Right.
Then both the guy who sold it and the guy who bought that bricked one will both have to buy new Switches.
They're going to end up getting sued for this somehow. They're going to pull the trigger on somebody who actually wasn't doing anything wrong but has money, and they're going to get sued.
Maybe.
Hopefully in
well.
Europe.
Yeah, right. That's the only hope.
Anyway, Sony did a thing that they pretended they had a reason to not do.
Oh, well, one moment. Let me hear Sony out. What was this thing that you're alleging that they could do that they were like, bro, we can't, and somehow now they have miraculously done?
So you remember when Helldivers came out and you had to have a PlayStation Network account to play it, and everybody was mad because that was real stupid?
But
you can't access the PlayStation Network in several regions.
But it wasn't at launch. It was later.
That's true. When that when
That's
it was
the
later.
best part. I do. Yes.
And Sony was like, oh, are we not merciful? We have listened to the crowd. You no longer have to have a PlayStation Network account signed up to play this game.
Whoa.
And then they banned its sale in 117 countries.
Which is unbelievably stupid. I wonder why the Helldivers 2 dev is self-publishing now.
Yeah.
Yup. Well, seemingly for no reason other than maybe somebody woke up and went, wait a minute, we're not selling games in these regions we could be? That seems deleterious to numbers. They just took the restrictions off on at least God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, Spider-Man 2, and Helldivers 2.
That's most of their releases.
Wow, they just launched 4 games in 117 countries. That's incredible.
How'd they do it?
Crazy shit.
Wow.
It's almost like their entire sales strategy was geared toward getting people to pay them rent instead of sell them product.
Which is so stupid because you don't even
Yeah, you don't even pay for it on those
wouldn't even play for it on PC. And they will never ever be able to get to a point where they could charge for what basic PlayStation Plus is for online play on PC.
No.
But that's not going to stop them from trying.
PC
right?
gamers are never going to pay a sub.
Yeah, no.
You fucking crazy?
Microsoft
Fucking
already
PC
tried that.
people. PC people won't even stop using Steam.
No.
Like, you can't even get them to use another client sometimes. And you think you're going to get them to pay you rent?
Good luck, Chief.
Just absolutely pathetic all the way around.
Uh-huh.
So for those of you who remember, in a video game adjacent space, Hasbro has been just speed running, being absolutely despised and fumbling every bag they have.
Yeah.
True.
They canceled a bunch of the video games they had spun up over the last few years.
Oh.
One of which was Hidden Path Entertainment. They were working on a D&D game called Project Dante internally. And a bunch of that leaked. There's like an 8 or 9 minute video of gameplay, a bunch of concept art. That gameplay looks like really
it looks
far along.
really cooked.
Weird. I need to see this.
Yeah, there's like
That is-
cutscenes and shit. And
This
voice
has,
dialogue.
This has to have been dumb fuck executive wants to clean up their sheets before the end of the quarter and cancel something that's 90% done.
Yeah, we're talking like a hack and slash action game, and it's pretty much done.
Man. Every corporation, man.
Uh-huh.
They're all so stupid. I don't even know if we wrote down the Warner Brothers things that was announced this week.
What were
It's
Sony's
not
trying to
gaming
buy a bunch
news,
of those
so we
IPs?
didn't. Oh yeah, Sony's trying to buy. I think it sounds like they're trying to buy Warner Brothers.
Oh, I didn't hear about this. I just heard about them doubling down on its Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
Harry Potter, which they've been saying every other month. So I guess now they're like, no, this time it's for real. Now we're doing it.
We're going to focus on these tentpoles.
Oh, they literally divided all of Warner Brothers games into Game of Thrones division, Harry Potter division, Mortal Kombat division, DC division. They're fucking washed.
Yeah, no, it's over.
But Sony wants to try buying. It's part of it says they want to buy Warner Brother WB Games, but another rumor is they want to buy all of WB streaming shit. Like they want to buy WB's media
What?
content.
They can't.
And frankly, I don't think either of those is true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sony has the money for either right now.
Do they
WB
not?
is not a small company.
Yeah, WB is kind of huge.
Well, I mean, they're doing the split.
They are doing the split. I could see them maybe affording the games division, but I don't know if they even want to do that.
I think
Sony
WB's
is not
stupid
nearly.
enough.
I mean, Sony, if like Sony could do the suicidal mega loan to buy them, but Sony isn't big enough to just throw that money, throw 40 billion, 20 billion, 40 billion down. They aren't Apple level.
But if they own
Like
Harry
Micro-
Potter, they'll win.
I don't think they would own Harry Potter. I think they would own the rights to stream the Harry Potter movies.
Well, if they owned the rights
Yeah,
to
what-
make
hey,
visual
this
works
isn't
based
real.
on Harry Potter or a game.
Yeah, no, this
It
sounds
says
more
streaming
like
rights, Dan. The rumor says streaming rights.
They don't even have a meaningful streaming platform.
Not yet.
No, they have a streaming platform.
Wait,
Yeah,
what
I
is
don't.
theirs?
I don't think
It's
this
the
is real.
PlayStation shit. It's
No,
on your
no.
PS5.
Okay, yeah, okay, that one. I was like, what's the WB one? Is it HBO
Which
Max?
technically, I can't remember. They flip-flopped on the branding. I think it might be, what was it? Is it still PlayStation?
Oh,
I
don't
need to boot my PS5 because it was different. It was like Sony Pictures. or
Right, it was Sony
Bravia.
Pictures for something.
Yeah, it was Bravia something. Anyways, they have a number of different ones. Don't worry. Yeah, they'll put it on Crunchyroll. They'll
Yeah,
put
just
Harry Potter on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, just put it on there. God,
Good God.
Sony needs to not, in fact, get bigger, get smaller. Crazy.
What?
Maybe spin
I
these
thought
off.
you liked video games.
Maybe spin off Crunchyroll.
No. I thought.
Yeah, everything's
But-
on. Like Sony owning all anime is only going to end up hurting everybody in the end. Like they need to not.
Yeah,
do
already
that.
doing that. Already
Uh-huh.
sucks. We
It's
already are
already
never
so
going to
bad.
get physical
Everything
releases
they've
of Gundam
done has
again.
been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of things that are terrible, Beat Saber is dropping all PlayStation support. The PS4 and PS5 versions just
going offline. No more updates at the end of, what was it, this month. All content done forever. Multiplayer stops working entirely January of next year.
That's crazy.
I don't fucking know what.
Are they shutting down? Are they making Beat Saber 2? What's happening?
No, because the other platforms are fine. PC and Meta are still going to be developed and stuff.
Which, isn't this company now owned by Meta?
I can't remember.
I think
if
that's
they
what
are.
I was seeing somewhere.
Oh, they are owned by Meta. Huh, weird,
So
strange.
so I'm like, there's
You
no
tell
way
me this might be one of those conflicts of interest?
Right. I'm like, I think that there's no way that the PlayStation isn't selling as well as the Meta in the PC end, because we've been over many times. People on those platforms simply don't buy anything.
People on PC don't. The Quest sells okay, but it
Okay.
is still a smaller set. Like,
Right. You're already working with such a small pie when you do VR.
right.
That it feels insane to be like, yeah, we can just drop these.
It's fucking nuts.
I could even see dropping the PS4. It's like, okay, yeah.
Sure.
Enough people have probably moved on by now.
Right. If somebody's actively spending money on VR, and they're on PlayStation, they're probably over on PSVR 2 on PS5. Probably. But to drop both simultaneously, yeah, they've been owned by Oculus since 2019. Great.
Yeah.
Fucking swell.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, that sucks fucking shit. I do buy DLC for Beat Saber. It's a good way to work out. I still think that game is overrated. But god damn it, dude. That fucking sucks. Cool. Anyway. I'm moving on to good news. Congrats, everyone. We have something to look forward to in this godforsaken year of 2025. That's right. Golden Tee Arcade Classics has been announced for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So you too can enjoy classic golf games like Golden Tee 3D Golf, Golden Tee 97, Golden Tee 98, Golden Tee 99, Golden Tee
a lot of these.
2K, Golden Tee Classic, and two other games that are not Golden Tee, like Shuffle Shot and World Class Bowling.
What? I don't know if I've ever played these.
You never played the rollerball golfing games at arcades?
I don't think so. I think I saw them and didn't play them.
Yeah, they're really
I
popular
think they were
in, like,
broken or
sports
something.
bars and some arcades, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they're kind of like the other power structure next to the Cabela games. These two just can be anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Normal arcade games are for nerds. You know, 90s and forward. Because before that, it's like, whatever, the bar can have a Pac-Man machine. Who cares? You need these two. The unstoppable duo of Cabela's Big Game Hunting and your Golden Tee.
Were any of these featured in a Simpsons episode?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like there is some golf game that they joke about in Simpsons, but I don't
there's
know what
Lee Carvalho's.
Yeah,
that's
Lee
a fake
Corello's
game.
putting
Yes.
challenge.
He's
Yeah,
a
that is
real
not
person. Because we had this conversation like
Yes,
last
yes.
week even. He's a real person, but the game is fake. Just like the what was it? Waterworld
Yeah, the
game.
Waterworld game.
Yeah, also just like Chuck Mangione in King of the Hill. Real guy does not do promos for Walmart.
Bob, let's move on to your gaming news. But yes, please look forward to the Golden Tee Arcade Classic.
I might as well jump to the news I put in here about collections of video games.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got Irem Collection Volume 3. It comes out July 1st.
IREM. Yes.
Irem.
Yes.
It's got Mr. Heli,
Mr.
also known as Battle Chopper Arcade.
I've never. Is the Mr. Heli the U.S. name or the Japanese
yeah, I guess
name?
so. I think
I've never heard that name before. I'm so confused. But that's cool. It's got the PC Engine and arcade version.
you can play Bose.
Is he related to Mr. Do? Yes, obviously.
Yes.
Mr. Do's the one piloting Mr. Heli.
Mystic Riders Arcade,
Cool.
which I'd never seen this before. He plays like a wizard boy, like flying around a room. It looks pretty neat. It's also a flying shooter, like all of these are. And the third game is Dragon Breed Arcade. In Dragon Breed, you play as a dude who's got a crossbow and he's riding on like a Chinese-style dragon. It looks pretty cool. I think that you can ram the Chinese-style dragon rider on the stuff to hurt it.
That's pretty sick.
You just need to dodge stuff as your dude on top. At least that's the way it looked in that little trailer I watched.
I'm just gonna pull up a picture of that real quick. Look at this dude.
Yeah, look at that.
That's pretty fucking sick.
Feel like the crossbow might be overkill when you got a dragon, but
Yeah, a little bit, but
sometimes you need to aim, you need to articulate. We had another collection announced, IGS Classic Arcade Collection.
IGS?
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell is that?
It's got Knights of Valor Superheroes,
Okay.
Knights of Valor Plus, Knights of Valor 2, 9 Dragons, Oriental Legend Spooky,
What the fuck?
Martial Masters, Demon Front, and The Gladiator.
I mean, this based on names alone, this sounds pretty solid. Why is it PC exclusive?
These all look kind of fake. Demon Front looks like literally someone drew over Metal Slug.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I feel like I've seen some of the Knights of Valor games. I think these might all be Chinese. I don't know. I need to look into where the heck these are from.
Between me not knowing who the hell this is and what you said obviously being true. I'm gonna go with Bob. I think you're right on this one. I think there's a reason it's coming to PC. Oh, the collection was released on Switch a while ago. Yeah,
Okay.
this is it looks a little Metal Slug, just a little
bit. And this will have multiplayer online support, so that's cool.
That's cool.
All right, I guess I got other news. It's not related to gaming collections.
Ah, shame.
Sony Interactive Entertainment released a free educational app called Climate Station.
Oh,
It's on PS5 and has PSVR 2 support.
weird. Okay.
It's developed in cooperation with the United Nations Playing for the Planet Alliance.
Okay.
And it's basically just a giant thing about, hey, climate change is real. Here is a interactive globe where you can watch it happen, and we have a 90 minutes narrated content to explain why it's happening.
Jesus Christ.
So that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
It's like it just boots up as like, okay, we're gonna go through 1 year of all the natural disasters that are weird. It just keep flying around the globe. I'm like, oh man, this is pretty messed up, man.
Oh wow, I didn't realize I needed a whiskey for this VR game. Normally I save that for VR Chad. One moment.
So yeah, it's free. Go check it out. Get educated.
Yeah, the name was Climate Station.
Which sounds fake, right?
Do we have that guy from Climate Town?
We don't. I thought he'd be
dang.
there, but it's some
Dang.
other, I guess, known British
Climatologist?
activist, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
They narrate the whole thing. Let's see. GameStop is teasing doing something called Push Start Arcade.
Oh, and that features Buck the Bunny, as we all know and love the GameStop mascot, Buck the Bunny.
Yes, we all love him. He makes cool, relevant Leroy Jenkins jokes. In this promotion, they released 5 days ago at most. I have no idea what this is going to be. It might be some horrible NFT thing. It might be them making literal in-store arcades. It might be making them making new locations that are arcades. I don't know.
Honestly, this might be the smartest business move GameStop has had since 2006.
I mean, yeah, if it's actually arcade making a real location
Yeah, if
and
it's-
not trying to desperately transform their
Locations
stores into arcades.
because they can't. They don't have the volume of space
No, they
necessary to
don't.
do that in the fucking lease.
Even
But
if
if
they
they're doing an arcade or a barcade,
right?
that's
Like,
a more viable business plan than all the shit they've been doing.
it is.
Trying to look up pictures of Buck the Bunny, I found out Buck the Bunny was added to an NFT Web3 game
What a nightmare.
2 years ago. And as we sat here staring at what the hell is this, and I'm gonna show the image before we continue to talk about this, because this is truly insane shit. Truly fucking bonkers. One moment. Okay. Bunny. There we go. Just wanted you all to see Buck the Bunny as playable in Kiraverse.
God.
We ran into other revelations, such as on the Kiraverse website, if you scroll down to where it says characters, it just has a box. We almost named this episode a Big Think This because we were cracking up so much over this fucking pop-up. One moment while is it JPEG? No. Is it PNG? It is PNG. Chat. Under our characters, the Kiraverse game says, there are no NFTs yet.
God.
Check another categories. Check another categories. There are no NFTs yet. Check another categories.
Yeah, that sure is abandoned.
Fucking incredible. Anyways, I'm glad Buck the Buddy has escaped the Kiraverse, is now back where we love him in GameStop ads for things we don't even understand.
Yes. Don't forget that just a few months ago, he showed up on packaging for cases and things that were selling at GameStop again. They're trying to
bringing him back.
Re-engage Buck.
Hell yeah. The Buck protocol has
Yes.
been activated.
There will be a Capcom spotlight. Is the summer of gaming has devolved yet again, and now is back like 2020. These things can just happen anytime during the entire summer.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, but we're awake again. Here you go.
June 26th, which is next Thursday at 2 p.m. our time, Central Daylight Time.
It is worth knowing Capcom showcases are usually pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, it's almost certainly just could be trailers we've already seen before. They even let a bunch of like influencers and game journalists come out and play these games and already release previews of them. So I imagine it's going to be restating everything they already let those guys see and release. So that's baffling. I don't understand why they're doing it, 2 weeks late. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Donkey Kong Bonanza had a big Nintendo Direct. We found lots of new info, including that the game will feature a co-op mode where one person gets to like play as Pauline shouting from the back of Donkey Kong. And that will have a game share. So you don't even need to own a second copy of the game. The game share even works with Nintendo Switch 1.
Now, I remember when it leaked that this technology was going to be in the Switch 2, and some people were like, finally, they're going to do the DS, because you'll have two Switches, and that'll be... I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I was like, well, if the DS had this feature, they mean that? Oh, they mean
you're
DS.
you're doing the Switch 2 to game share a DS game to the Switch 1 in your hand.
Uh-huh.
So you can do the bottom screen there and then look up at the top.
Jesus. No, they don't want to make the Wii U again. I'm sorry.
No, they're going to do it, damn it. Anyways, this is a really cool feature.
Mm-hmm.
That's really neat. Cool.
Yeah, we also found out tons of cool stuff about that new game. Does this mean we can finally get costumes for Daisy or for Pauline and for DK and Mario Kart? It's insane. They only have one each.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the stealth reveal. They didn't want to spoil Teen Pauline ahead of the marketing campaign.
Even though that would be a separate character entirely, I would think.
You would think. No, she just wears clothes that clearly depicts her as younger, and you're just like, girl, I don't know how to say this politely.
God, Xbox and AMD announced their multi-year partnership that goes across their portfolio of different devices, including a next-generation Xbox console.
No, it includes next-generation Xbox consoles and portable experience, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, they're going to have different tiers of these fucked up fake Xbox PCs.
Uh-huh. So cool.
And then every single developer will they won't need to make Xbox versions anymore because they'll just be PCs at that point.
Yeah, everything we're hearing about this is that it's going to be a fucking PC. So the concept of an Xbox is fucking dead. I cannot underscore it enough.
And then Valve will announce the
console is frustrating.
Well, because they're lying.
Yeah.
But then Valve will announce the Steam box on top of them, and they'll become a crying Wojak.
Yep.
So we got an insane rumor today in hand with this that Xbox was revving up that emulator they kept promising, and they were about to release it within the next year called Xbox Classics. And it would even be able to run on PC and other gaming platforms. And then Jez Corden went, "That's not real."
Oh.
Because a credible leaker leaked it, and then Jez Corden's like, that isn't real. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's something people would want. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they actually dropped that emulator, our attitude towards Microsoft would mostly turn around a lot.
Yeah, if they'd stop doing stuff like calling a thing a console and then charging $1,000 or more for it, and it turns out it's a PC. Yeah, my
They haven't
attitude
done
would
that
change.
yet.
Oh, they're revving up to do that soon. What's that, next year? Supposed to be the
Yeah,
end
it's
of
supposed to be next year.
God, that's
yeah,
so
it's
close.
supposed to be, unless it gets a delay.
Man.
Yeah, the PlayStation 6 is 2 years from the end of this year, based on current roadmaps. And then the PC Xbox current roadmap is the end of next year. And a portable is somewhere in this mix.
Yeah. For both of them. Well, I guess we already have the Xbox portable announced.
And it sounds like the portable that they were interested in making themselves maybe just got fucking backburnered to hell.
Did you
Yep.
Did you see that the Hollow Knight devs had to come out and say in a statement that no other release ever game has nothing to do with that Xbox ROG ally? It has nothing to do with that. We want to make that clear. That has nothing to do with that.
That fucking ROG reveal was it was almost stolen valor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's insane.
So yeah, it'd be nice if they didn't turn the idea of what an Xbox is into a cruel joke so bad that we predicted it on Gamer Premonitions in 2020.
Yeah, we need to stop being so right.
I know, we hate it every time we're fucking spot on. It sucks, dude.
Like, no one thought of the Bethesda could make the anti-Bethesda game.
The anti
Yeah, that's insane. In
dissolution
my wildest dreams, I wouldn't have thought that would really happen.
Fucking Todd Howard just throws up the dead zone and he's like, ha ha ha, you're so old. Todd Howard, being as short as he is, makes him a perfect Garlic Jr.
It does, you know?
I'm just throwing this out there. Hey, Chris, let's move on to your news.
Okay. Borderlands 4 will be $70, so everybody successfully screamed at Randy Pitchford until that happened. It would have been $80 had there not been that such a horrible fit at him.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing at the end. Oh, Chris, or Aggro, go ahead.
I was going to say it's $70 on both.
That's what it seems. That's what it looks like. I think you can even pre-order it on Steam and it's $70.
So here's fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, for anyone who's like, oh, this was a brilliant play by Pitchford. Actually, he knew it was gonna be 70, so then he made people more acquiescent to the price based on. Bro,
that man
did you
can't play
see?
regular chess.
Yeah.
Did you see that dude on Twitter?
Yeah, he basically
this
started
was-
crying.
This
in
was
public.
not a plan. That man was having a meltdown.
Yeah, nobody can pretend anymore if they ever could. Like, nobody can pretend to be butthurt on the internet to own somebody. Like, for fuck's sake, fucking undercover cops have to constantly be supervised or they become criminals, more explicit criminals.
A different kind.
Different kind.
Yeah, 70 is still too much. But yeah,
It is, but it'll be 30 in November, so who
it
cares?
will.
Yes.
Well, it might be 40. Let's be generous.
No, this is the Borderlands that will never be cheaper than $70.
Yeah, it's the Borderlands made by Nintendo.
Yeah. So anyways, you were all completely right to get pissed because the only time these companies do anything in your favor is when you get pissed. And the only people who tell you not to get pissed are people who do not understand how the world works.
Yeah, they're either actually working for said companies or just very stupid.
Yep. Nexus Mods is under new leadership. The owner says the owner was like, this was my hobby, and then it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and I spent 20 years doing this. I'd like to do anything else now.
Yep.
How
many years was he running this? It was like 20
like
years
23?
or something. Yeah, it was fucking absurd.
He says he spent months and months trying to find somebody who wouldn't fuck the site up. It is not like a company. It appears to be two people who are active in the modding community. They'll probably still fuck it up. But it's not 100% like it would be with a company.
Right, of course.
Alzar Radiant Echoes, a turn-based RPG Kickstarter last year, is on hiatus and the developer shut down. They got $300,000, no form of refunds. They said hiatus, but it's obviously just canceled.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's insane. I looked this up, and they made very convincing-looking demo reels. Like, I can see how they scammed some people with this.
Jesus Christ. You know, I don't normally bring up Kickstarters. Did you see that one that's PS1 aesthetic based on a demo that was made years earlier? It's a Japanese horror game where you walk through the streets at night, and those are live action, but your character's like a simple geometry little girl.
No, I have not seen this.
It's got supreme vibes. It hit Kickstarter recently. The reason I have difficulty saying its name is because it's the word walk, as in walking somewhere, in fucking Japanese characters. So, there's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, might be a bit of an issue. It looks sick. Eltriok retweeted it. Anyway, I don't normally throw it on Kickstarters.
Yeah. No, there's
This
a reason.
This next story is fucking bizarre. So the first Berserker, Kazan, the dungeon fighter tie-in Stranger of Paradise-like, is getting an update on June 26th. It's going to add dismemberment. That's cool.
Yeah.
And it's going to add a female version of Kazan you can play as.
I think that makes sense because the Berserker's just a class, and you could play as either in the original game, I would assume.
I think that's one because a thing that a lot of these Korean and Chinese MMOs do is that classes are all gender locked.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess Kazan is a guy. So I guess that means they're redubbing the whole game too, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. In fact, they had her speak in the trailer.
I guess that this is, as we said, very directly inspired by the Koei Tecmo side of these things, and all the Neo games basically now let you change gender. So like,
Oh, really?
we can't just not be like that.
I mean, Stellar Blade's also out there getting sales. They're like, one moment, we fucked up. We made a game with not a hot lady.
Yes.
Fuck.
That means they also have to redesign all the armors to fit her as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking big update.
Yeah.
It's although I'm not weird. But like I said on Blue Sky, why would you buy games at launch?
Yeah, because if let's pretend we bought this at launch, probably for a spoiler cast or something. We all beat it, and then they added this. Most of us would just go, I don't have time to go back, even if I have the desire. There are other games to play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if we had the desire to re-experience all that content. Now I get to play as a beautiful Berserker lady.
Not voiced by Ben Starr, strangely.
Yes. Wouldn't that be?
That would be really funny.
That'd be fucking awesome. Male Berserker has some other guy. Female Berserker, Ben Starr. That would be fucking fantastic. I'm like, wow, he's really going up in this world. Anyways, happy Pride Month.
So when Stellar Blade came out, I said that there shouldn't be any discourse about the game because it was going to have a 75 on Metacritic, sell between 2 and 3 million units, and then everyone would move on with our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I have to apologize to Stellar Blade because it's already sold 3 million units. Its PC port has hardly been out that long, and they're working on a Switch 2 version.
Smart.
Yeah.
Everyone should work on a Switch 2 version.
In honor of this, they apparently bought everybody on the development team Switch 2. Like we crossed 3 million sales.
Damn.
That's crazy. But yeah, it turns out just make the main character hot. Weird.
Go
That
on.
that gets people looking at your game.
Yeah.
Like that isn't the end all be all to success, but considering the current market where the hardest thing is getting people to look at you.
As it turns out, there's a reason Hollywood stars are attractive. Did you know this? You can do that with video games.
Like Marvel Rivals, enormous. Emma Frost is a pornography character in that game.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It is obscene that they put that character in a video game.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I haven't that's Guilty Gear Strive levels of just bimbofying these characters.
I have no idea. No, I walk around my city, white women who look like that everywhere. That's just how they look. That's all of them. Chris, I have no idea what you're alleging.
Well, right now I'm alleging that Xbox is the cuckold console.
Oh, yeah? What's up?
The Outer Worlds 2 is going to be a game code in a box on Xbox. On PS5, it'll be a disc.
The amount of masterful plans and moves you had to execute to end up your Xbox. Mwah. Beautiful.
Well, that means it's cheaper than the other versions, right?
No.
No, it's $80.
And to be clear,
that box is still going to say it. The stores, Bob.
Of course. You're right.
so
And here's a fun fact. 35 cents.
Yeah.
That's how much it would cost to print a disc when you're already shipping a package to retail anyway.
but
Yeah.
here's the thing.
35 more cents a copy.
They cannot fit the game on a disc.
But they can on other platforms.
Well, yeah, because those other platforms could do quad layer Blu-rays.
Oh my God.
The Xbox was engineered from the ground up to do this exact problem 5 years ago. They bought a publisher, they bought developers, they went multi-platform, all just so this moment could happen. Most other people couldn't fuck up this big. They knocked it out of the fucking park. They designed a system that can't hold their own games, and then they're like, well, fuck it, put it on systems that can. They're so fucking stupid. I just can't get over it.
At least this is getting an actual. Well, at least they're not having to do this. It's like this, and it's from limited run games. They're screwing it up themselves.
Yeah, they
That's-
went in
that's
to
like-
walk it up firsthand.
Yeah, like that's the only positive I can even make out. And it's like, yo, this is a really beat up W. That's not a W at all. I think it's two
Like-
L's that fell together.
I'm good. Again, if you're an Xbox owner and you don't use it to play Call of Duty, Fortnite, and nothing else, there's still time to trade it in before GameStop it just stops accepting them.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird when their MSRP is higher than ever, but their trade-in value is lower than ever.
Yeah.
Like they have to have literally zero at this point because they cranked all their prices. A fucking Series X is $600 now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They just don't care.
No.
They're getting out. It's really fun listening to Digital Foundry where, you know, John keeps bringing up the insanely weird position they're in and how they've dissolved the idea of an Xbox and all these other things. Why did it take so long for people to see the writing on the wall? It drives me insane that the history of Big Think is us just pointing out this will dissolve the brand entirely. This is going to cause these problems and they'll have to go multi-platform to correct that. By the way, that way lies ruin. And then for some reason,
Yeah, no one can put it together until it's actually in their face.
until
Yeah,
the
they're
brand
like,
is
"Look,
already dead.
They plan to be here for a long time. They're doing renovations. Ma'am, they are stripping the copper out of the walls.
It's okay. They've
Like,
just
yeah,
made an
I'm sure-
interesting transition to being a publisher. Ignore
I'm sure
all of the
Xbox Game
ramifications.
Studios will last a long time until Microsoft decides they want their structure. They want to reorganize and have a more streamlined corporate structure. So Fantasy Life IF, the girl who steals time, is getting a roguelike mode.
That's weird.
Huh.
It is explicitly on Ginormia, I think is what the continent you never have to go to is
You don't
called.
say.
But apparently it will be a mode you can turn on there that will shuffle. I guess it'll just shuffle like gear, chests, resources, enemies. They also promised new hairstyles, new gear, new emotes, and they will have there will be more. There will be more updates in the future. I really like this game. If you like story of seasons type games, farming simulators like Rune Factory or Stardew Valley, I would definitely check out Fantasy Life.
Do you think
And
Emma
finally-
Frost is on that island?
And lastly, third-party Switch games seem to be Switch 2 games seem to be selling like shit, preempting the comments. Matt Piscatella kind of had a little bit of a copy fit about this and was like, actually, 40% of Switch 2 game sales are third party, only 20% of Switch 1 game sales were third party. To which I respond, you're not counting the Mario Kart World prepackaged, like the bundled Mario Kart Worlds. If you count that, it's also 20%. Except the Switch 2 has a lot more high profile games that came out at launch. The Switch 1 didn't have Diddly Dick on launch day. It had like 1-2 Switch and Super Bomberman R and like Shovel Knight. This has Sonic Shadow Generation, Street Fighter 6, Cyberpunk, Yakuza 0. We shouldn't have fucking made this edition. And more stuff. And again, the fucking somebody from a publisher said we sold less than our lowest estimate.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's really bad.
I do wonder if their lowest estimate was based on how well the Switch 1 did, or if they just had conservative estimates and still below that even.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I imagine the problem is for all these re-releases, like even Street Fighter 4 is on the PS4. If you're hopping on the Switch 2 at launch, you probably have some degree of money, or at least spend your disposable income on games.
Yeah,
So you probably have some way to play all these.
Yeah, all these games are real old.
Uh-huh.
Like nothing new here.
Yeah, and there's so
Like,
little that's new here other than Fast Fusion and the new Mario Kart and Welcome Tour.
And none of the games that were released are like things that I really think are gonna pull in a different audience. Like they're not things that I think would have a huge audience waiting on Switch. And like Sonic Shadow Generations was already on Switch original.
Yeah, and there's no upgrade path.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's dirty.
Nintendo did not facilitate a proper way to upgrade these old games to get new versions. It's bizarre. Yeah. What was I gonna say? For games that are new as they launch on the Switch 2, it's the ones I just said, Fast Fusion and Rune Factory. And that's it, right? Everything else was a couple weeks to a few years old.
Right, like even when the Wii U launched, there was stuff like that was really old, but then they tried to get the newest stuff, like the newest Assassin's Creed launched on there because it was launching at the same time they were launching a holiday, so they had a lot more variety of games that are brand new.
Yeah.
In general to release.
And like, God, like the big advantage to the Switch 2, like one of the big advantages of releasing on it, like releasing these bigger games, is nobody in Japan had a PS4 or PS5 or an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
But PC has exploded, which ate a lot of that.
Yeah.
And also, specifically, Yakuza 0 was on PS3.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
That game is over 10 years old at this point.
God. Yeah. Yeah, really weird that
It might be exactly 10 years old.
You know,
But I think it's
11. I forgot Shadow Generations, like specifically Shadow Generations, had a Switch 1 version, not Sonic Generations. So all they needed was a patch to make it perform better on the new one. Mm-hmm. Have we seen a third-party game do that? Because I feel like we have. I don't think we.
Fantasy Life F has an upgrade path. Fantasy Live IF has an upgrade path.
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's
like,
true.
It's like $2.
I think it's like $4.
So they could have done that?
Yeah.
I'm seeing people in chat
Nintendo-
point out 2015, so 10 years old is what you
Okay.
were looking for. Yep.
I'm sure if they start putting Final Fantasies on the Switch too, they'll get some sales because again, Japan didn't own these PlayStation consoles. Why did you make the PS5 your lead for these big games, Square Enix?
They thought it would sell there eventually when they started this years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, Final Fantasy 16 was far enough in development that it was shown off 2021? Question mark?
2020.
Yeah, yeah. It was
2020. So it was the September show in 2020.
Yeah, it was September show.
Yeah. So thing wasn't even out. They didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really curious. Like, I also think what probably is playing a part in this, and once again, wouldn't factor into Matt Piscatella's weird, I'm going to give you contextless percentages.
Mm-hmm.
How many people went, I'll buy these additional Switch 1 games, which wouldn't show up in your ratio? How many people went, well, Hyrule Warriors will run good now. Well, I didn't get this Kirby game. Well, I didn't get this game.
I hear Pokemon runs like it's finished now.
Right?
Yeah, it's great.
So yeah, there's all that. Like, I am not surprised by this news at all.
Yeah, and a lot of people bringing up, they're all on those weird digital carts.
Yes, I bet that also, because again, people who are going to buy this shit at launch, more informed.
Mm-hmm. And Nintendo fans very much do want their whole thing on the cart. And having experienced the Street Fighter 6 experience, that's bad. It's bad to have to download the entire game.
Yeah.
And have it take up my entire memory, internal memory.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of a cart
Yeah.
if you're gonna have to download it anyways?
Right?
They perfectly engineered a situation.
They did.
Anyways, I'm excited to hear what the perfectly engineered problem with the PS6 is 2 years from now. Because I can't even imagine now.
It's got to
They're
have
going to
something.
invent a new dimension. Everyone's really on top of this, inventing a problem they didn't need to.
Yeah. It's impressive. It really is.
It is, yeah. Apparently, news just came out. Seemingly, it might have been different time zone, depending. T-Lopes is working on the soundtrack for the new Shinobi.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, working on that with
That's
Yuzo
good.
Koshiro. So
Yeah,
that's dope as hell.
I'm sure that soundtrack will be really good.
Two of my favorite composers. I love seeing T-Lopes live at MagFest. That was awesome. Yeah, no, that's awesome as hell.
God.
What's up?
Turns out those guys who made Streets of Rage 4 make really good games.
Did you
Crazy.
know that? Did you know that? You will know that tomorrow when we probably play Streets of Rage 4. Chris, what are you doing Saturday?
Mega Man X8, and then I'm gonna rank. I'm gonna put them in tiers. I'm probably not gonna do a best to worst. That's a little bit too difficult for that many games.
Yeah,
Ag-
even
But I will then
tearing, it'll
rank
probably be a
all the
while.
Mega Man games I play.
Aggro, what are you doing?
So you know how you can start a fire by rubbing two sticks together for a while?
Yes, I'm aware.
I have this theory that you can do that with cinder blocks. If you can just find the speed and the pressure right before you start crumbling them away, I really feel like you'd be able to build up enough heat to reach incandescence.
Aggro, are you telling me your plan is to turn a pile of cinder blocks into dust over and over to hope to create fire?
I mean, my plan is for that to not happen with the dust part, just the fire part. And really, like, I don't think, like, there's not enough room in the cinder block to get enough oxygen in to, like, create a real flame. I'm really hoping to just, like I said, achieve incandescence inside the stone itself.
How will you observe that?
With my eyes. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it's between the two cinder blocks.
Yeah, do you know what incandescent means?
Yeah, it's that thing Solaire says.
That's gonna do
God.
it. We're just ending it.
It's a good thing you're cute, Bob. Now take off your shirt.
No! Stop!
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. You know, it helps a whole lot if you head on over to patreon.com/GB Podcast, where you can watch a movie with your girl and be like, hey, I like this movie. It's called Isolation 119. It's real great. You want to watch it with me? And she's like, please stop calling me and get out of my house. And you're like, okay, but you're going to miss the movie. Over at patreon.com/GB Podcast.